If you would have told me 10 years ago when I first came into contact with the pools that I would be sitting in front of a camera right now looking like a corpse, haven't eaten in days, stressed, sick, I wouldn't have believed you. And I truly never thought that I would ever speak my story or talk about things that have happened to me or just things that I've witnessed, because I truly believe that I would never become free of my Stockholm, if you will, type relationship with these people. I was manipulated quite well and I was quite loyal. I just want to go with saying that in this video, I do want to put a trigger warning for domestic abuse, rape, blood, just, anything that could possibly trigger anyone. I want you to proceed to watch this video with caution, and I want you guys to understand that every piece of material in this video is completely authentic, and I have not been reached out to in regards with any legal trouble. I have not heard from Anna Paul, Anna Paul's lawyer, Anna Paul's team, any members of her family. I am not in any way, shape or form in any sort of legal trouble, and as going forward, I stand behind every single word that I say in this video and every single piece of material that I insert into this video. Just as kind of an introduction to kind of give you guys a background story on the type of person I am and give you guys a little bit of a backstory on the way I was able to remain involved and actively participate in some of these actions that are going to be in this video. They are quite disturbing. As I've always said, there is no perfect victim, and I think this is a perfect example of there not being a perfect victim. I am a victim, yes, but I am not perfect. My name is Mikaela. I am 25 years old. I just had my birthday 2 days ago. I sat in this bed crying the whole day. As I've said, this isn't just tea. This isn't just drama. This shit is very much real and has impacted me for many, many years. I've kept it inside and it has slowly chipped away at my soul, my being, and I will say that after today, I do feel like it will lift a bit of weight off my shoulders. And maybe I can do a bit more healing and a bit more coming to peace and coming to terms with the things I've participated in and things that I've dealt with. So when I was first born, my mother was 19 years old and she was a drug addict. I did not know my biological father, and she did not know who my biological father was. So she raised me on her own until I was about the young age of about 3 months old. And then she met a man that was like a little bit older than her, and he had adopted me at age 3, and I grew up to believe that this man was my father. It showed throughout childhood. I was badly beaten. I was sexually abused by this man. I was enslaved. I had to, raise my other siblings. My mom, she has 7 daughters, and at no point in time during my entire life that I've known her, she has not been not pregnant. She was always pregnant, and she just kept popping these kids out to all different sorts of men while also simultaneously being a drug addict, and that very much took a toll on me. Obviously grew up in the system, housing commission. I wouldn't see my mother very often, and when I did, she'd be high. I never saw her not high. And so when I would be at my adoptive father's house, I'd be getting beaten and abused. So it was very tough for me growing up. My favorite thing to do was go to school, because it was 6 hours out of a day where I could be out of an environment where I was either getting abused or having to clean something or just having to witness fucked up shit. So my brain is not wired like a normal person. My brain does not work like other people's brains. And it's something that, I don't want to cry into the mic. It's just something that I've had to realize now that I'm older, that there are things wrong with me. And that's okay, because it's not my fault. It's the way I grew up and the things that happened to me. So I apologize if any of my actions in this video you can't make sense of, because naturally I don't make sense sometimes. And it's not funny, but all I can do is laugh at this point in time. So when I was about 14 years old, I went out of my own way to try and find my biological father. And I did find him, and we became very close, and I moved into a home with him, and I lived with him. And when I was 18, I lived with him until I was about 18 years old. And when I was 18, he got cancer and passed away. So although I did have a good 4 years, it was very tragic to lose the only parental figure that was ever really loving me or caring about me. So when that happened, I definitely spiraled. I went through a lot of stuff. I did a lot of things, and I'm not proud of any of them. I would act very erratically. I would not be friends with people. I would have trust issues. I always felt just different, like I wanted to be alone. And I just didn't really know what I was doing with my life at that time. I was getting into sex work. I was working at a strip club. I was just all over the shop. I was dating older men. It was a mess. So yes, as a person, I am a mess. My brain doesn't work. My actions aren't going to make sense in this video. And I just needed to give you a backstory, because I don't really get online and tell you guys who I am, what I've been through, how I grew up, which was actually dirt broke, by the way, to the point I wouldn't even be able to explain on the phone. Like, we did not have food. My mother would spend her last money on drugs. She had 7 kids in like a small house with housing commission. She would spend her Centrelink money on the drugs, as I just said before, but it was just a fucking mess. So that's why, I can get triggered very easily when people start saying they're broke and I see their house and it's like a waterfront home. But let me just get into the video. I also want to go with saying that this video is not monetized. I have been offered opportunities. I have been offered opportunities to go on other people's podcasts to talk. Just been offered money to speak and stuff like that. But it just doesn't feel good making money off this. It just doesn't. I'm not making money off this podcast. It's not monetized. No brands are paying me. There's no ads in here. And I would like to keep it that way, at least so much as this topic exists on this channel, because I just don't like the idea of profiting off trauma abuse, particularly other people's trauma and abuse. This all started because I one day woke up and I had gone on my Instagram and I had seen that Anna had bought a new bird, and I had seen that she had done a cash giveaway on her OnlyFans again. And obviously you're not going to understand those two things until the end of this video. But those were two things that just triggered me to speak. I had to say something. I just had to speak. And it was very scary. I didn't want to. I felt like I didn't want to and I couldn't. And I just thought to myself, well, if I don't, this is going to keep happening. And this is going to keep happening to young mothers and teenage girls and whoever else is falling victim to these scams. But also animals are going to continuously be neglected and purchased and used for content. So I took it upon myself to post. What triggered me was just, the posting of the link saying, doing the surprise later than tonight, posting screenshots that she's sending people $200 and certain amounts of money, how to reach me. She's posting her link. She's telling people where to go in the chance that they might win, even sometimes up to $1,000. And that is just an illegal lottery system. And if it's not illegal, it's definitely wrong. It's definitely against OnlyFans T&Cs. It's just wrong on so many levels, considering her following and fan base is just young single mothers and high school girls and just people that are low income people. and they are subscribing because you've posted 7 hours prior the link saying doing the surprise tonight. Like, they know what this is because you do this every like couple of months, and that's your whole scheme. Like, that's how you sell subs and that's how you do this. But it's just wrong, Anna. It's wrong, and I called it out, and a lot of people agree with me. So yeah, when I saw these stories, I posted my own story. And I said, this was the first thing I ever said. I said, if you have to incentivize people to buy your exclusive website by running cash giveaways on there and then posting screenshots to your IG so your underage followers spend $10 to hopefully win 1,000, you're basically running an illegal lottery and taking advantage of children. It's gross. Which I wholeheartedly still stand behind to this day. It is disgusting. It is not just me that has come out saying this. It has been many influencers online. But as I said, it's always drowned out by the rally of our brainwashed fans. It truly is. It's truly disgusting. And anyone with a brain could tell you that this is wrong on every single level, but she gets away with it. I also posted this. I said, I'm speaking on this because it's not only horrible, but every time Anna pulls one of these cash giveaway money grabs, my DMs are filled with hundreds of people asking me for funds / help with all sorts of devastating things because they're at a loss from her. If your OF isn't selling and you need to pull cash grabs just to get subs or sell your skincare, then you need to reevaluate. Stop using and manipulating less fortunate people into sending you their last $10 because you're promising the chance at more. I've had enough, and I wish more people called a spade for a spade. This is exploitation. Again, it's exploitation. These are so many messages of just people reacting in real time to my stories. Obviously, this has affected a lot of people. And it's not just these cash giveaways that have affected people. It's also her brand's giveaways where she's, selling all this stuff by putting like MacBooks and like expensive Coach bags and like all these designer items possibly in the package to get sales. So, you'll have these high school girls spend their entire paycheck on multiple different packages in the hopes or chances to win a MacBook. But that is gambling. That is underage gambling. She is making profit. She's making a significant amount of profit off of less fortunate people, and she's not licensed to do so. It's wrong on so many levels. And the fact that she didn't address this and at any point from my first initial call out, if you will, just goes to show that she doesn't give a fuck about this. She doesn't care, and she'll probably do it again. And I also just want to say fans and parents particularly have been really angry about this for a long time. I've seen it so many times. I said this before, but you would think after so many people and so many times too of it coming out that she would stop, but she never did. And here's some more times where she has done that in the past. Where she has said on her TikTok, sending $100 to as many people as I possibly can. To the people who have ever supported me on OF, I want to support you back. You know what I mean? It's just like 454,000 likes. So many people are going to go and buy a $15 subscription or $17 or whatever it is in Australian dollars in hopes that you're sending $100 to them. Because you said sending $100 to as many people as I possibly can. Like, it's just scammy, Anna. It's so scammy, and it's wrong because you have such a young following fan base. And again, what the fuck? And this is another one which is just like a dead giveaway that this is all a plot and a scheme. She said, I'm in the car on a 2-day road trip home and I can't stop thinking about how amazing you guys are and how much support and love you give. I just really want to give back to you. So I'm sending $100 to the people who have supported me on OF until I get home. Just like reiterating like, hey guys, you've got so much time to go and sub and then you'll see if you get it. Like until I get home. No, like it's all in our faces. As I said, she has young followers. Extremely young, and I don't have young followers like her. Almost 95% are all over the age of 18 for me, but we know her fans are so significantly young. We see them at the meet and greets. They are adolescents, like primary school children, as well as older people, yes, but primarily young people. And this is the type of content she posts on her social media.
Yes, my parents know that I'm an S worker, and so does my boyfriend, and no, nobody cares. Yes. And I have to close the windows before I start. Grab something from the secret drawer. Let's see if I can feel for it. I can't feel. Is that it? No, that's a carrot. Okay, I found it. And as for hair and makeup, I'm about to get my hair messy anyway. And makeup, guys seem to not care if you wear makeup, and the girls who watch especially don't care, so it's perfect. You don't even need to wear makeup. I usually post previews on, tweet. But, yeah. If you want to watch it, you know exactly where you can.
And this is the photo on tweet. Yeah, like she has a young following and she's posting this type of content. It's just not right. But you know, I'm an S worker too, and I am on social media too. I don't post content like that. I'm sure parents are fucking angry about this. With this photo on tweet, where to go. Like, it's just, yeah. Anyways, whatever. Say that you can't really get her for something like that, because there are influencers out there with names I'm not going to say that do make content similar-ish to this, and although they don't have a young fan base like her, they're still on the platform posting content like that, and like, whatever, dude, whatever. But still, I personally I don't think it's the right vibe. But until you see stuff like this where she's posting this on her TikTok account, it's like a trend and it's like a bunch of things. I don't even understand what it really is, but it just says in big letters on her chest, being Australia's #1 corn star, and mum's still telling me that I'm doing a good job and that I'm a good influence to their daughter. I didn't think this was real when I first went on and saw this, but I went onto her TikTok and I found it and it's right there. I'm shocked. This is just straight up manipulation, all right? No parent in their right mind is saying that. No parent at all whatsoever is saying that. And I know Anna, and I know she's a manipulator. She would have been maybe getting a couple of comments here and there about the way she is, and parents would have been saying certain things that she posted this to try and drown it out, to try and be like, hey guys, even mothers are saying that this is fine and I'm still a good influence. It's just icky. Like, it's just icky. All right. I don't agree with that. It's wrong. That, to me, that's wrong. It's just wrong to me. And I'm not liking this mentality. I'm really not. I'm not liking this manipulation. And then, when she posts stuff like this, it's just...
I actually think there's nothing wrong with sex work at all. If I had a daughter, I'd tell her to do OnlyFans. I could not care less. I think it's weird to see sex as such a taboo subject. It's natural. Chill the fuck out.
All right. I've seen enough here. I would never want my daughter to do S work. It's just fucked. And if that's her attitude, then of course she does not give a fuck that her fans are being exploited to this type of content, particularly underage people. She clearly just doesn't give a fuck, all right? And she's never going to apologize for the cash grabs or the whatever else. There's people that get completely shocked that she does this type of content for work because, her fans are, as this content creator said here, 12-year-olds comfort TikToker. Yeah. All right. So it's not just me that's knowing this, that's in the know about this. Look at all these videos. This girl's fans are crazy. They are very, very young. And like, this is a child. This is all on the public stuff, by the way. Like this, you can find this on these TikTok channels. More children, just such young girls that are probably very vulnerable. And what has always made me so angry was the fact that Atis is a convicted rapist. And when I say convicted, here are the court records for Johannes Paul. It says right here, I paid $50 for this. Australian justice system is quite horrendous in my opinion. They've failed me multiple times. In my life, I wouldn't bother going to the police for a crime because I have been nothing but let down, and I'd rather see fit by putting this piece of shit on blast and telling the world he's a convicted rapist than having it behind a $50 paywall so that more victims, like the girls after me, unknowingly still have sexual relations with a convicted person. It's disgusting. Anyways, here's the court records in case anyone wanted to say that I'm lying or full of shit. They're right here. And I paid good money to get these records. And as you can see, this man is a convicted R-word, and he's at these meet and greets with these young kids around, young children. And yeah, he's a convicted pred. So I don't know why Anna is still bringing this man, showing him off like some sort of nice guy, when we all know he's a piece of shit. Anyone that's met the man knows he's a piece of shit, and, you know, posting him up like he's some sort of prize. It's pissing me off, and also subjecting other young people to be around someone like that. And if you want to say that his name's not Johannes Theodore Paul, his legal name, here is some mail that I happenly just had on my phone. Here is a Medicare card that I had. Scribbled out all the information, of course. More photos of them at the meet and greets together. He's signing fans' heads, his name. It's just sick, Anna. It's just sick. Moving on.
When I say I grew up broke, that is my experience. That is how I felt.
Broke is a feeling. It's a feeling now, guys.
I know what it's like to grow up with no money on Christmas. You know, my parents spent their last $20 on prawns so that we could have like a nice meal. My brother and I, we used to wrap plastic bottles, like orange juice bottles, and put them under the tree so it looks like we have a lot of presents like other families. So I know what it's like. So I want to...
I just, like, literally, I thought I was going to end up on the street. I'm not even joking. It's weird too because I grew up extremely broke, and when I say extremely broke, I mean my parents were like, bro, we're gonna be homeless. And we're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? We got food from like the homeless shelters. It was a whole thing. Anyway.
So is it a broke feeling or is it homeless shelters, Anna? Because that's a fucking lie. That is so ridiculous. You did not grow up broke at all. We saw all of your content throughout the years. We've seen the stories. There's evidence of you claiming dirt poverty. Do not try and be like, that is how I felt. There's a difference between being broke and feeling broke, and being broke is not something that you actually want to be. So you cosplaying people's actual poverty is insanity to me, particularly as someone that grew up around your family and was at your childhood home, at your home when you were in teens. Let's get to the motherfucking receipts. By the way, that one video that I just played with the green tights sounds an awful lot similar to my video about me actually growing up broke.
When I was young, I grew up broke. Yeah, we've heard it all before. But when I say I was broke, I mean I was literally broke. Everything I owned was shoplifted and my parents were on Centrelink.
All right, not saying it's a competition or anything like that, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why I'm saying this now. So in the 26th of September in 2019, you know, Anna's story never stays the same, and I'm going to show you that here. Yesterday, I bought myself a dream car. 3 to 4 years ago, remember she's posting this in 2019, so 3 years ago from 2019 would be like 18, 17, 16, 15, 2015, 14, right? Or 2015, something like that. I couldn't even afford to eat. My whole life I was so broke that my family couldn't even afford food, couldn't even afford rent. I thought I was going to be homeless at one point. Now at 20, I've bought myself my dream car and I'm so proud of myself. I never thought this would happen. If I can do it, you can do it too. Da 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 da. Pause to read if you need. BS. Absolute BS. And I'm just going to let the receipts speak for themselves. So
you would find that this is their house. This is where they grew up. Let's see where the pool is. Stuff like that. But like, I mean, it's a nice house. Well, Mikaela was speaking the truth. There. That's the kitchen there. Like, it genuinely does look like a nice house.
All right, so let me just get on to this. You've got photos on Vildan's Facebook of infant Anna and Atis. I'm talking like, you know, 7 to 6 to 5 years old. They obviously moved to Australia when they were 3 years old. They lived in Sydney for a little while, yada, yada, yada. They move over to Bribie Island shortly after that, and then they move into a waterfront house, which is this house here that I'm showing you. And here's the childhood photos of them being in this house, which is the exact same house that you just saw on the video. So they lived in this house for quite some time. As I said, it's a house in Bribie Island. It's a waterfront home. It was really nice, especially for like the 2006, 7, 8, 9, or whenever they lived there years. That was not cheap. As I just said in the photo before, Anna posted that car photo and she was saying how, 3 to 4 years ago, she couldn't afford to eat. That is bullshit. And, although I've been in the house with Hans Paul while he's sitting there in the lounge room saying, Anna, this is lies. Why would you post this stuff? You know that it's not true. And, calling her out for her BS. But she had said at one point that She has to post about her childhood because if she posts anything nice now, everyone just hates on her. So she's really rattling on and riding on this I'm broke thing so that she can excuse flexing on her story. And you're going to see the true Anna from like obviously primary and high school here of her flexy personality that Atis and her fucking have, all right? Which I've watched them change in and out of it so many times over the years. So yes, you know, Hans was calling out the bullshit. I was sitting there like, this is fucking tea because, you know, I'm sitting in this fucking mansion right now and we just went to your other house and it looks so fucking nice. I'm confused where this broke shit is. But anyways, 19th of January 2015, iPhone 6. Fresh set of nails, a watch. Babe, you've got an iPhone 5 in 2013. You're just flexing that you got the 6 Plus. You've got a Tiffany & Co bag in 2014. You've got the PlayStation 4 when it just came out in 2014. You're always at a cafe eating something. You've always got a Starbucks on. You've always got a Tiffany necklace on. You've got the brands. That's what gets me. You've got the Michael Kors watch. You've got the Celine shirt in 2013. You've got the Ralph Lauren shirt in 2014. You've got more Ralph, endless Ralph. You've got a Louis Vuitton custom, and I can see the packaging in the background. Wallet, Apple Watch, more Tiffany rings. I mean, you've always got a fresh set, as I just said before. Tommy Hilfiger, more Ralph, iPhone, Ralph, YSL, a watch. And this is all 2013, 2014, and 2015. You've got Coach bags. You've got Victoria's Secret Pink, more Ralph Lauren, more Ralph. The view from your house, your waterfront house that you're literally sitting in, is so fucking beautiful, in your words. You're taking photos in the same house, the waterfront house that you were in when I just showed you as an infant child, and it's 2014. So you've remained to live in this waterfront house from whatever ages. I'm guessing like ages 6 to, from what I can see here, 2014 currently. So obviously the rent was being paid. Your father was paying that fucking rent and you were living in this nice island waterfront house this entire time. Again, your first car is a BMW. You've got a fresh set of nails on. You just got your P's. Like, if your first car is a BMW, Anna, you're not broke. You're not broke. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. You're always at a cafe with your mother. You're talking about starving. You've always got a fucking iced latte. You've always got a Tiffany & Co bag in your hand, watches and Pandora up to the freaking thing. You've got all this makeup like Too Faced, NARS, Makeup Forever, Anastasia Beverly Hills back in the 2015s. Like, what, girl? I don't even need it. I can just keep scrolling through here. I don't even need to say more. And you went on the freaking Threadbow school trip. You went on the Threadbow school trip and that was like almost $2,000 it cost to go on that school trip. I know that school trip because it's an annual Australian thing. And I didn't go because where the fuck are my parents going to pull $2,000 out of their, are they going to pull it out of their ass? No, you had experiences and your parents had the money to pay for it. Does that equal being broke? No, it doesn't. I'm sick of the shit. You're going to Germany, like you're going to visit your family in Germany. I don't care if you accidentally were in first class and then, sorry, I'm yelling. I get really angry about this because it was really sad to see her father like that. But yeah, like she has experiences. She's going to Germany. I don't care if it was a first class flight, Anna. If you're in economy, it doesn't matter if your mother paid for it, your dad paid for it, or your auntie paid for it. You still had a nice life. You were still getting an economy flight to another country to go skiing, going to all these things, like going through the fields and riding horses and doing all these activities in another country at the age of what looks like 13, 14. It's not adding up. There's no excuse. At no point in any part of any of the timelines in her life was there any indication of her starving, being broke, being homeless, just like any of that shit. As she said, like 3 to 4 years ago, I couldn't even eat. You had all these designer labels, all this jewelry. You were living in a waterfront house and your father has so many different cars throughout this as well. Around like, I think 2017, they moved into this bigger mansion house. It was like literally just like an insane mansion on Bribey Island on the water, newly built. fucking beautiful, right? And that was the house that when I had met them and been dealing with them and all that stuff, I moved into that house. So that's this one right here.
You know, it's really not that hard to go and search the canal where Anna Paul grew up. And thanks to Papa, I knew what her house looked like. I found it after 5 minutes on Google Earth. I looked at the listing. It was listed, I think it's demolished now, but it was a $2 million house. Girl, be fucking for real. This is not the kitchen of someone who did not get Christmas presents. How are you going to have a $2 million house and then say that your family doesn't even have a vehicle and that it had to be gifted to you? But then on Papa's Instagram,
Yep.
he's pretty much posted every single car that he's ever owned. He's had dozens and dozens of cars. He even shared their family cars. If she's tone deaf enough to think that she was living in poverty in this home, she deserves to be canceled.
So she wasn't living in poverty in this home, for damn sure. And she wasn't living in poverty in the other home either, all right? She was not living in poverty, period. It's a sham. It's a lie. It's an exaggeration. It doesn't matter, Anna. I don't care what bullshit story you come up with now. I've heard Hans call you out for it. I've sat in that living room while he has literally sat you down and said, why are you posting this type of shit? We had it good. I was making $3,000 a week, yada, yada. Then I'm going to be able to exclusively say you're a fucking liar. Your father called you a liar. Like, I don't know what else to say. Other than you exaggerate your story just to get away with that you're posting a G-Wagon now and you're posting all this lavish holidays and you've got all this money and you're doing all this nice shit. You have to post this story about being broke and make everyone feel sorry for you and make everyone feel sad to just excuse the wealth and the schemes that you pull almost every fucking single day. Anyways, as somebody that actually grew up fucking in a shit house, in a drug addict family with 7 children, it was just so tone deaf to see and hear the shit happening that I would get really upset and angry. But anyways, by the way, we just spoke about her car, her childhood car that she's posting, which is like an Astra, like a Holden Astra or something. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm shit at cars. But that's a nice damn car. Like, that's a nice car. And this was my childhood car. I went on Google Maps to pull this one up. Colleen Court in Mackay. This was my house. And this was the van that I drove around in primary school until we ended up getting some beat up Commodore that was owned by like 4 different druggies before that with like potholes, like cigarette butt holes in the back. But this is what I bummed around in from my entire primary school like beginning. And I was so embarrassed getting dropped off on this thing. It fucking stank and it was loud. So I don't want to hear BS about, oh my God, we had a Holden Astra. When, again, your dad's posted up on Instagram with all these different nice cars. I'm not even going to put the photos in here because go to Hans Paul's Instagram and you will see all these cars. He's flexing it all that he's had from before he had Anna and shit until right now. So I'm sick of it. Anna would get caught in her lies when I first moved into the house. There were so many lies that I would just kind of like see her posting on social media, you know, just to get, you know, empathy or I don't know, the clicks, the views, whatever it was. I don't know what her point was behind it, but you know, like I'd just see her up on her story lying and I'm like, whatever. I'm dating her brother, but you know, we had a lot of mutual friends. We shared a lot of mutual friends and they weren't happy about one of these lies. And that's when their friendship ended. So on the 17th of April 2020, Anna Paul posted on her Instagram story saying, crazy to think that we grew up poor as kids and now we both own our dream cars and we did it all by ourselves before the age of 21. My brother is my best friend and I'm so proud of, I'm guessing she says him and it cuts off. I just want to give you some context. This car in this photo here, I purchased. I bought the damn car. I have the bank records. It was like a $30,000 Mercedes C-Class or something like that. And you'll find out in a minute, but Addis Pool was taking a large percentage of my income from OnlyFans. But that aside, I paid for like $25,000 of this car and Addis had paid for $5,000 of it. But that $5,000 was actually money that he had earned from his percentage on my OF that month. And, you know, I didn't even get to send it to him before I bought the car. So in my opinion, I owned the car, and the money that he used was also money that he was manipulating and abusing me to get. So technically I bought the car in full, even though I paid out of my own percentage. So my friend Bailey was like, nah. She was so pissed. She was like, this is actually just an insane lie, straight up on her story. She's sick of it. So my friend Bailey comments, and she comments, Mikaela bought this car. So of course that caused drama between Bailey and Anna. So that's when shit went south, when Bailey and Anna started having problems, because yeah, Bailey, one thing about Bailey, she's not about to bullshit. She doesn't like liars. She doesn't like bullshit. And she called it out, and she was very public about it. When this all went down, Bailey was commenting. Anna had some of her other friends comment back to Bailey. There was kind of this argument going on in the comment section about this. And then this is a message. Well, I got involved. I started to feel really shitty. I felt like, what, Bailey, you're right. This is a blatant lie. This is kind of scary. Because, Bailey was going in on it, like catching out all the other lies about like growing up broke and stuff. This was definitely in Anna's era where she was trying to like rags to riches, bringing it out, the first debut of the rags and riches fake story. And this is just like a message that Anna had sent me because I had actually unfollowed Anna. I had unfollowed Anna even though I lived in the house and I was dating her brother, because I didn't like the way that she was liking the comments that her friend was making towards my friend about the truth being I bought the damn car. So yeah, I'm just going to read it out. This is very manipulative, and this is just how Anna is in the situation. She will make her friends ride or die for her lies, pretty much. We are all friends, though. Her comment was unnecessary to comment on who paid for what, and so openly too. To me, something like that is something that you would ask in private, especially since the post was only about how proud I was of how far he has come compared to how broke we used to be. In my opinion, a true friend would have commented something about how proud she is of Atis or whatever, since that is all that she was posted about. Then privately messaged like, they both pay for it, or was it just Atis? Like, it could have been that simple, but that's just my opinion. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding, who knows, but da-da-da-da-da. It's just like, what kind of message is that, Anna? Like, no, my friend's not going to comment how proud she is of Atis because Atis did not buy the car. Her best friend bought the car. And you're lying on your Instagram post. She is willing to lie. It doesn't matter what it is. But that's the thing now. Like, now she's 26. She's got Hermes bags. She's got G-Wagons. She's living in an insane mansion now, like insanely bigger than those other two fucking mansions I just showed you. She's got a skincare brand, probably making God knows how much with that. She's traveling everywhere with her whole family. And to this day, this is how she responds when somebody's asking her, who would you like to be for a day if you could be any influencer?
And if you could be another content creator for 24 hours, who would it be?
Someone who's super, super, super rich. Nah, like super, super, super rich. I'd get on a jet, I'd get on a yacht, I'd get on a helicopter.
Don't you do that though? Kind of, yeah. But I guess so.
All right. Clearly this woman is still living in her broke mindset to this day, even though she is so fucking rich right now. She never was broke, and she still believes in her head right now that she is broke because she can't just hop on a jet real quick right now. And I know that that's what she meant. And it's so funny because watching this video when I first saw it on my TikTok feed, I looked at it and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that Anna had finally accidentally, I think, because she was so nervous, exposed some of who she really is and how she really is behind the freaking TikTok. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it was insane to watch because I was like, there's no way she said that. But she was so nervous that her true personality actually showed for a sec. And I was cracking up when I first saw this. I was like, oh no. I
said, oh my God, she was so fat and sweaty. Now, I do not call my fans fat. That is not who I am. That is not what I stand for. That's not what I've ever stood for. But you guys know me, surely. That is not what I stand for.
Okay, so I said in one of my videos that I had made at the very beginning of, before this all had started, that she had called a fan fat on the bridge, South Bank, 2021. I heard her call that fan fat. And as I said, at no point in this video am I lying. She called that fan fat. And fat was a word that she used very often, okay? Glenn and I apologize for saying this, but Anna, behind Glenn's back to me and my entire friend group that we had, you know, Anna, me, Lilith, Chloe, Bailey, she would call Glenn fat on the daily. She'd call him fat every single day. She'd fat shame him. She'd fat shame him with her mom. It was mostly like Atis, Anna, Mama. This was the times that I recall in person her saying this. She'd be talking shit in German about Glenn. Okay, I heard it, and I also heard her just talking shit to me and my friend group in English as well. Shit about Glenn being fat. It was very fucked to witness, and I'm swear to God, no word of a lie. She was saying this about Glenn and Glenn's family for years. Like one time she came back from a trip in Bali with Glenn and all of Glenn's family members, and she had made a really fucked up comment about how they wear shower curtains to the day clubs, and Anna's in a bikini and it feels so awkward because they're so fat, and she literally thinks that his family's jealous of her. It was just really bizarre. Like it was just like an unspoken thing that Atis, her, and Mama hated Glenn's family. And it was always like a them versus Glenn, like their family versus Glenn's family sort of thing. Like it was just really fucking weird. Another thing that happened that was really fucked up where I'm involved is that, you know, Anna and Mama started this whole intermittent fasting. The whole house is doing it. The whole house is participating. Oh, also they used to call Hans fat. It makes me fucking sick. They'd always pick on him. You'll hear later in the video, but this whole intermittent fasting thing in the house, and it was kind of like something like don't eat after 6 p.m. and then you can't have your first meal until like lunchtime or 12 or 11:30 or something like that. It's called intermittent fasting, and it's like a fasting period where you only drink water in that time and you don't eat any food, and it's supposed to help you like lose weight or something like that. That was all a plot to try and make Glenn skinnier, and we all had to participate because it was like otherwise Glenn would feel bad about it or something like that. So if we went to Starbucks and he didn't want to get a nitro cold brew and instead he wanted some like Java chip. I know that that's Glenn's favorite Starbucks thing. Java chip something. I don't know the Starbucks shit. Like she would be pissed and talking so much shit about him later that like he's getting a Java chip drink with like all these calories instead of getting like a 0-calorie nitro cold brew. And you know, because I'm doing this intermittent fasting too, I'm getting an ED from this shit. I'm fine. Like I don't need to lose any weight. I don't need to gain any weight. I'm perfect the way I was. And it was just like, you know, I had to do this fasting thing. I started to lose a lot of weight because shit, I barely even ate just from the stress of the whole fucking relationship that I was going through with Addis. But, you know, I was getting very, very, very thin because of this whole like household fasting thing. Oh yeah, I also want to say that like, by the way, Anna never confided in specifically me to like talk shit about Glenn being fat or Glenn's family being fat. These were all things that I just like was kind of like witnessing because Anna and Atis and Mama were so comfortable with the shit that would come out of their mouths. I'd be like in the corner, just as I always was, just a little accessory to Atis, just overhearing all of these fucking horrible things. So you know what? Over time of being with this family, I just knew the second my back was turned, horrible things would be said about my physical appearance and who I am and what I've got going on. And I was right, of course. Anyways, I'll get into it later. Here's a photo of all of us hanging out, by the way. This is Chloe, Lilith, there's Anna, there's also Chantel in the middle here, and Bailey, and then there's me. As I said, we were a big group. We had so many group chats, whatever. Like Bailey would have sleepovers at Anna's house. Lilith and Anna would always go take OF pics together and like Addison, da-da-da-da-da. But, you know, as I said, Bailey had a fight with Anna earlier about the car situation. So this is kind of what Bailey had to say when she was going off about the car situation and her lying.
She is a gaslighter, despite saying that Glenn does these things to her and then she calls Glenn fat and ugly. She is just a horrible, horrible person, and I personally want nothing to do with her because she's just, I hate people like that. They scare me, people that are capable of these things.
So here you can see the date. We were saying this since 2020. Like this was a very big thing. You know, she'd be so willingly to call Glenn fat to any new friend that she ever got, just straight off the top of the thought too. Like it was insane. Anyways, I just introduced you to our friend group that we had, and I just want to introduce you to Lilith here, which is a friend of mine from a very long time ago. Unfortunately, you'll see what happened here. We stopped being friends because of my relationship with Atis and friendship with Anna. But these girls were very close. They would take OnlyFans photos together. They would do collabs. They would laugh and joke and hang out or whatever, have sleepovers. I don't know. Bailey and Lilith knew Anna before I knew her. So I was kind of like a newcomer to the group. You know, here's Chloe also speaking out now, saying, you know, what she experienced with them. But I want you to listen to Lilith's story that she posted on her TikTok talking about her experience with Anna. And if you want to watch the full video, I suggest you go and watch it. It is quite sad. I will, you know, seeing Lilith cry and stuff really gets me upset just because she's a very sweet person. And, you know, obviously we rekindled everything back in 2022 and we learnt the truth. But I just want
me talking about the situation between Anna and Addis. I really wanted to make this video to talk further on it.
And you see them continuing being friends, but you're not in the friend group anymore, and you're just constantly you're in your head every single day thinking, what is truly wrong with me? Why don't these people like me? And then you get the stupid message from the brother that's...
This is her video. As I said, go and watch it if you want to know about it in full, but I can summarize it here. Pretty much, artists would take OnlyFans photos of Anna and Lilith. They would do collabs, they would go on drives, they would go to the beach, they would hang out. And Anna was actively trying to get Lilith to date Attis. Prior to this happening, Bailey was having sleepovers at Anna's house. And Anna tried to do the same thing with Bailey. Bailey had a boyfriend at the time, but Anna was always actively trying to get one member from our group to hook up with Addis and date him or whatever. And she would always kind of like try to manipulate us by saying like, I want you to be my sister. Like, I want you to be sisters with me. Like, I think you and Addis would be absolutely perfect together. Like, he's such a good photo taker. He can take contents over us anytime. And like, you know, just trying to like be bestie with the girl and then bringing her brother around where he's probably flirting with you and trying to wingman the situation. That was something that she did with me, something that she did with Lilith, something that she did with Bailey, but unbeknownst to me at the time. So I didn't know this had gone on with Lilith. I didn't know this had gone on with Bailey. I was just kind of the newer victim, but I mean, you'll find out in a second. Also, while Bailey was at Anna's house, while she had a man, you know, Anna was trying to push Bailey and Attis to be like together while she was having sleepovers with her. Well, I mean, she had a man, so like there's no loyalty there. And also when I had come into the picture and into the group, you know, Attis kind of ditched the others and then jumped onto me, and Anna was trying to wingman us together while at the same time trying to get rid of Lilith so that Lilith wouldn't open her mouth about being the person beforehand, if that makes sense. It's a little bit all over the shop. So she's actively trying to get Lilith and Addis together really hard. They're flirting even, whatever. And then they jump onto me and they decide they want me. But of course, if I hear that he was just trying to get with Bailey and Lilith before this, I'm not going to be wanting to do that, right? So, yeah. She made up a bunch of lies, said Lilith said a bunch of shit about all of our group and everyone. So then we're like, Lilith said this about me, bye. And then we were told by them to block her, so we did. And she obviously was very upset and had no idea why she was being blocked and all this stuff. But, you know, Anna was telling us that she was saying all this crazy stuff about us. So we all just felt a type of way about Lilith and decided we didn't want to be a friend anymore. Happened in 2019. I'm going to start with my story from like the very beginning. So like how I spoke to them, how I even found them, and then how I moved in and how I got to these points. So I met Attis and Anna online on Instagram in 2015. So Attis was following me on social media, and then Anna soon followed me after. And, you know, Attis would be flirting with me when I was 15 years old online, and Anna would be like friendly with me online. So we, you know, followed each other on all the apps. We'd voice message each other every day. We were really close online, and, you know, it's really sad to see where we're sitting today. But I also hate this narrative of like how when I started to be in the family, that's when I gained my fame, following, and money and all this stuff. I'm so sick of this lie. When I met this family in 2019, so I just said that I had an online friendship / situationship with Addis already starting in 2015. I lived in North Queensland. They lived in Brisbane. So although I hadn't met them, I would talk to them, at least one of them, like at least a couple times a week throughout these years. So yeah, I'm sick of that lie that I only gained when I started hanging around them, because in reality, by the time I met these people, I had 300,000 followers on Instagram. I was verified naturally. This was in 2019, before you could pay to be verified. I was making 50,000 Australian dollars on my OF every month. And I had a manager, I had a team, I had people behind me and that were directing me in the right direction. I had properties that my dad had left me when he passed away tragically in 2018. So when I met these people, Atis did not have a social media following at all. He had 3,000 Instagram followers, and he was doing some like e-commerce situation where he was scamming or he lost money. I don't know the story. I don't know too much about the scams and shit. But yeah, I'm just so sick of that lie. Like, I already had my own stuff. Anna was not doing TikTok. TikTok wasn't really a thing. It was just starting to come out. And, you know, she had like 12,000 something followers on Instagram. I can't remember the exact numbers, but she was not this influencer at all. She was doing her YouTube, you know, like micro influencer vibes. And I'm not trying to be like I had a lot more than them, but it was just like I had wealth, I had properties, I had a following, I had a career and a path, and I was doing collaborations with other big names, and I was doing a lot of stuff at the time. So no, I met this family when I was already solidified. Okay, I was already in the game. I had been in the game, but I was new to the game. I'd been in the game for a couple of months, but I was still very new. So I was, new to making that sort of money, and I was over the moon and so excited. So when Anna Paul's coming to me and she's saying like, I want you to be my sister, I just can take photos of us every day, like we can do all this content every day, like imagine living at my house, we can just wake up and vlog and all this stuff. And obviously I had flirted with her brother for the last 2 years on social media. Wait, longer than that. I think 3 or 4 years on and off. I had flirted with him. I liked him. I thought this and that about him. I was just like, hell yeah, I'm doing that. So I decided to go on a little date with him, and we stayed together in the Gold Coast in Surfers Paradise together. And we stayed with each other for like a week. Wait, I need to mention something. So obviously Atis, unbeknownst to me at the time, he wanted to start an OnlyFans management prior to like Anna, like trying to get all of her OnlyFans friends to join her little family at her house. Atis was plotting to start his own management. So it was just, we didn't know, but the timing is fucked. And it was all a plot for, let's see what woman we can get to date my brother so he can take a percentage and we can start a little OnlyFans management here on the coast. Like, and Lilith and Bailey were almost victims of that. So it's just wild and insane. Now that we're introducing Bailey, I just want to give you a little bit of an insight into what she's been posting. So since this entire thing has blown up with Anna and Atis, she's been on her social media kind of like preaching the same things that she's been saying since the beginning. As I said, it's always drowned out by the rally of her brainwashed fans. Lilith has tried speaking out before. Bailey has tried speaking out before. Pretty much everyone in that photo has actually said something about Anna and Atis before, besides me. I was only saying stuff about Atis. But yeah, it's always drowned out. So I'm just going to play a video that Bailey had posted on her social media when this all came to be.
I feel like the only people that can take down Anna Paul for the evil, lying, narcissistic, manipulative bitch that she is are people that actually knew her, which are me, Chloe, Chantel, Mikaela, and Lilith. I'm going to post some screenshots for you guys.
So she does. She posts a lot of screenshots, a lot of receipts. As I said, I've been friends with this girl since I was about 13 years old, 12 I think, 12 years old, and I'm 25 now. I don't know how long that is. You guys do the math. But she was friends with Anna for a long time as well. So she's got those receipts. Go and watch this video if you would like to see some of them. So yeah, like that weekend that I met them and the plan that, Atis and I had to spend together, it was just a lot of like love bombing, a lot of urgency to kind of like get me to come and live at his house and like be sisters with his sister and be part of his family and hang out. It was just like very, very, very coercive, and my alarm bells were going off. My shitty alarm bells were saying, please, Mikaela, like, please please don't go to this man's house. And fucking hell, like I could have saved myself all the fucking shit if I had have just turned around then and there when my stomach was telling me no. Of course, I went. The reason why I was more willing to go to his house and see this through was because I was so close with Anna. I mean, we were voice messaging back and forth almost every single day. So I felt like I knew her very well. I felt like I knew him very well. And what did I do? I agreed to go. And, you know, when I did say that I had doubts, obviously, because of Attis's very coercive, love-bombing type behavior, when I had told him that I was having doubts, this is what he sent me.
Bring all your stuff. Even if you hated it and you start hating me and you don't want me, stay for 2 days and then just leave. You're not tied down here. I'm not holding you hostage. Just come to see me a little bit. And if you hate it, you can leave. If you love it, you can stay. You're welcome either way. That rhymed. I should be a rapper, but nah.
That was all it took for me to willingly walk into this home, become part of their family, date this man, have, you know, so much fucked shit happen. When I first moved into their house, I noticed there was like a weird dynamic between Attis, Anna, Mama, and they were all very codependent on each other. It was the type of relationship where I noticed that they never spent a day apart. I don't even think they really spent more than like a couple of hours apart. And Anna was very just dependent on Attis, and so was Mama for like emotional, physical, all sorts of needs. So to me, Anna and Attis were just like too close, a little too close for me. I could never just spend time with Attis alone. It was always Anna was always there. Mama was always there too. So it was just like we did everything together. We would eat breakfast together. We would be in the kitchen laughing together. We would watch something together. It was just like at no moment in the day did we really have time apart from this family until about like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night when we actually went to sleep. And then, you know, we'd wake up at like 8 in the morning and then we're with them again. And it's like all day and it's like again and again and again. So like my social battery from being at this house, particularly when I first got there, was just like being drained because at no point could I like relax. And obviously these people were very new to me. And I noticed very quickly that Anna and Mama were very judgmental. So I was being very, very careful of like just every single move or every single word I said, because I just didn't want to be having bad things said about me, considering the way she was talking about Glenn and Glenn's family. So battery was low as fuck. And to go back before when I said that Attis and Anna are a little bit too close together, I mean, he took all of our content. He took photos of just Anna for her OF. He took photos of just me for mine. He took photos of Anna and I together for OF. And this went on for years, like years and years. So when I tell people that, they literally either don't believe me or they're just completely fucking shocked, because it doesn't sound believable, but I'm telling you. So this is a photo. No, this is a video that Attis had taken back in 2019 that she's still selling in 2023, almost 2024, because it's the 14th of December when I took the screenshot. But she's still selling this, and it's a video of me and Anna doing a collab on the website, which her brother took. So you can see right here, I'm telling you, Attis Paul took this content. He took this of me and he took this of her. He took this photo of Anna and I in 2021, and we're obviously in lingerie, see-through lingerie, white. Yeah, as I said, Attis took this photo, and when Glenn found out about this photo, was not happy about it. Anyways, take it back to when I first got at the house. Weeks into living there, I just noticed very manipulative comments like Attis and Anna mainly saying like, Attis would kill it on your OF, like you should let him manage you, like he would slay it. Not slay, because slay didn't exist back then, but like he would do really good on your OF, like you should let him manage you. As I said, I already had a manager. I already had somebody that was doing really good direction, leading me in the right direction, doing really good things for me. So I didn't really need or want, and I wasn't really comfortable with having like a man that I was like seeing or dating like deal with my OF. And I mean, this was like literally a couple weeks after I was there. Atis and I were not dating just yet, but the intentions were there. As I said, I already had a manager. I was making like 50K a month. Like I had properties that my dad left me. Like I already had stuff. So it was just like, I was on a good path. I had a good system going. I didn't really feel like Atis was equipped to deal with my stuff that I had going. And when I had first like showed up to their house, like my manager did warn me. He said like, look, I just have like an off feeling about the whole situation. Like make sure that you're not going to be leaving me anytime soon. Like I'd really be sad to see you go. And I just feel like these people could potentially be manipulative or something like that. And I don't know, maybe that just came across in the content, but I was warned, and again, went in my ear and out the other. As somebody that's abused and manipulated their entire life, they don't even see when it's happening. But when I tell you, it was so strong that I was kind of seeing it. Like, you can't even blame these people for taking me for a ride, because I fucking sat in the passenger seat willingly at this point. But yeah, eventually, like literally within a couple of weeks, he was managing my entire account. He was managing my IG. He was doing everything, and he was taking a cut. And I'm pretty sure it started with 20, and then every week it would just be going up by 5%. It was just moving up and up and up and up. And yeah, it was just, girl, what the fuck? I'm being trafficked. And for anyone that thinks like, oh, like, why is she saying this now? Like, girl, it hasn't been a secret that Addis was managing my OF and taking like a 50% cut. Because I mean, when I tell you it got to 50% pretty fucking quick, it did. Like, what kind of boyfriend takes a 50% cut from their girlfriend's OnlyFans as well, while simultaneously doing nothing too? I don't know. You'll see how it got that far and how I got manipulated. But anyways, I've posted in the coming years about this 50% cut, and I'm just going to play a video here because, I don't know, people are like acting brand new. This person came into my life when I had been going through a lot. My dad just died. I had mental disorders. I had a lot of trauma. I was very new to making money. This person became my manager before we even started dating and started taking a large percentage of my income. And then eventually, as time went on, it became 50%. So 50% of my income was going to this person. He was my manager, yet managed absolutely nothing. And I was just giving him... He was barely managing anything. Like, he was doing absolutely sweet fuck all. And I mean, of course, there was like promos where like you'd have to pay like, you know, a couple $100 to a meme page to maybe post a piece of content for you. But when I tell you I was making like $120,000 USD a month when I was like 19, like, and this man was taking 50% of it, and he was definitely not utilizing any of those funds to like back into promotion. Like, he was just robbing me. He was robbing me at this point. Like, that's how I felt. I genuinely felt like that. So yeah, like, it's no secret. I've posted about it a couple of times. Here's another one.
Passing the phone to someone who let a man manipulate and scam her out of 50% of her OF money for 3 years.
So I publicly posted this as like a trend in like on like January 20th, 2023. I did not give a fuck. I was putting this man on blast. These brain cells just slowly started to come back to me slowly after the breakup. So when I was in this relationship, I had no idea, honestly, that I was being completely trafficked and abused and manipulated. But as I said, like, he would gaslight me and manipulate me into thinking that he's the only reason why I'm growing on social media, when in reality, I was just posting content and I was blowing up. Like, I was posting my own, I think I was doing, like, I started doing TikTok in very early of 2020. So TikTok became a thing. I was just going to the moon, as he would say in his crypto terms. I was just growing very quick. I was growing on Instagram. I was growing on TikTok. I was doing it all. And that's because I was posting, not because he was doing it. I made my own content and like I freaking posted it on my own phone. Like, he did not really do anything at all. Lingerie, what color fucking underwear should I put on tonight? That was the type of shit he did for me. Countless friends were warning me at the time about this percentage and about this situation that I had going on with Addis. And, you know, my friend Bailey would come to me and say, well, he just does not love you if he's taking a 50% cut of your income. Like, he just doesn't love you, Mikaela. I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is wrong on so many levels. Like, you know, and I would ask Anna, like, well, why isn't he taking a percentage of yours and stuff like that? And, you know, I just get the same thing. Like, well, I just don't, because like, you know, like it was always some BS excuse of why like I'm the only one that like he's taking money from in such a large amount. And only when my friend would like kind of say shit to me would I start to double guess or think like, is this wrong? You know? And obviously as my friends were kind of getting into my head and telling me this is wrong and making sure that I was fully understanding the situation of how it was wrong and why it was wrong, you know, I started to say things to Atis, not just my friends. I would say, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm thinking of cutting the percentage off. And threats of suicide, fights, domestic abuse would start to happen. And I filmed this podcast like I think 3 times now, because every time I filmed it, I'm crying into the mic and it's all muffled and it's not a good audio. So I'm going to like try and breathe and like digest shits before I like be a mess on this thing. Yeah, I had to redo the whole thing because of the crying and all the shit. I need to make sure my head's straight before I even talk. In 2020, July, Ashes and I had a argument about OnlyFans percentages and just like some other little BS about lies in our relationship, one of the many things. And I decided in that moment that I wanted to get up and leave. I was sick of having to pay this man. I was sick of his manipulation and his threats to kill himself over like the percentages and shit. And he was just very negative energy. So I decided I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the BS. I'm packing up tonight and I'm going to go home. I'm going to go stay at Bailey's for a bit. And when I tell you, I've never seen a human being so manically scared of me to leave. It was almost like something in his brain just switched. He was just he had a lot of urgency. He had a lot of anger, a lot of like just looking into his eyes, it was so scary. I didn't know what he could do to me. I felt very, very, very scared. So when I had said I'm leaving and I got up and I started to pack my bag, he grabbed me by my arms, smashed me all into doors, yelling in my face, don't leave me, with the such, he was obviously crying. He was obviously saying he's going to kill himself. He's like, wait, it was just all over the shop. It was just like the world was a blur. It was a spin. It all happened so quick. It was just so scary. And I kept saying like, no, I'm leaving. Like, no, I'm leaving right now. I'm going to leave. But he's got my arms and he's got my arms so tight and he's shaking and he's, again, smashing me into rolling doors and freaking bedside tables and bed ends that I'm just like, holy fuck, this man, like I'm so, like he could easily hurt me. It was just insane. Even after all the scuffling around the room where he's trying to restrain me and get me to stop, like to leave, I already had an Uber on the way. And obviously he lived on an island, so the Uber takes like 20 minutes to even get there. There's no Ubers in that area, but there was one coming. And I was very lucky to have that Uber. So I knew fucking hell, there's 20 minutes difference in between from when the Uber gets here or not. I'm going to have to run down the street and get away from this man because he's just going to try and convince me to stay here. So as I said, he's grabbing me, he's scuffling around the room, he's screaming in my face, he's screaming all sorts of nonsense, saying he's going to kill himself, he's going to hang himself, he's going to jump in the canal, he starts punching himself in the head, he starts physically grabbing my body and I would say physically abusing me, literally. Holding my head, pushing my head down, trying to get me to be small, and it was just sick. And I just remember being in that moment so afraid because this was a side of Atis that I did not ever see. And this was very, very early into the relationship. I knew in the moment when he had already put his hands on me that I was leaving and not going to come back to this damn house. But it was when he went to his bedside table and got a knife out, it was not some BS knife. This was like one of those knives that those teenage boys have that's like for fishing, like an insane one that's like big, like this. Sorry, this fucking mic. Like this big. And I remember the handle. It was just very fucking like scary to fucking see this man with his eyes looking so weird and manic and like this urgency. Like when he picked that knife up, I thought he's going to hurt me with it. So he's like, no, Mikaela, like I'm sorry to reenact, but like, no, Mikaela, like, please, no, don't leave me. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to stab myself in the neck, saying all sorts of crazy shit. You know, there's Glenn and Anna are starting to wake up. Mama's starting to wake up. The whole house is, and I'm obviously screaming too, because when he's like pushing me down and like pushing me into walls and shit, I'm like, this man's hurting me. He's literally putting his hands on me. Somebody help, like someone help me. So when he grabbed that freaking knife and he started like walking towards me with it in his hand like this, And his eyes looked like that. They just went black. His pupils were big. I was like, this man's going to hurt me. He's going to physically hurt me. And all it takes is who knows what until I'm dead. But he holds it up to his throat and says, please, like, don't leave. Like, you can't leave me. And he started holding it towards his neck. And I was like, holy fucking shit. What do I do right now? I put my bag on the ground and I said, Atis, please listen to me. Please listen to me. You need to stop. You need to stop. We can talk about it. We can sort it out. We can try and fix it. Because I was like, holy fuck, this is going to take a turn. Like, I've never seen him like this. He's going to do something that he's going to regret, and he's not just going to hurt himself. He's going to hurt me too. As I said, he was walking towards me with his knife against his neck. He was also like kind of waving it around, like holding it up and walking towards me. And his bathroom was like his room, his bathroom, and then another bedroom. So he was kind of walking down this hall area through the bathroom with this knife, kind of I was just walking backwards, shuffling me into the other room while he had this knife. I was just screaming, Anna, Glenn, someone. And I just remember being like, they are going to think like he needs to go to the hospital. Like he's got something up here. And then, I'm still saying I'm leaving. Like, I still have the Uber. I still have my phone in my hand, all that. And then he just starts to launch at me with this goddamn knife. Like, I don't know what was he trying to stab me? I don't know. I think he was trying to just like launch at me to like get me. I don't think he was going to stab me with the knife, but I mean, I don't know. He like launched at me, but I ran, I dropped my phone, I dropped my bag, my laptop was in that other second room. So when I was walking into the other room, that door had already been open and Anna and Glenn were standing outside the door, and I think Mama was there, standing outside that door, just kind of like, oh my God, like Anna was just like blasé. Mama was blasé. Like, I don't really remember what Glenn's expressions were because it was like so black and dark. I mean, this was in the middle of the night, but like I knew that they were kind of like out of their rooms, kind of in that hallway area. And her blaséness shook me. I was like thinking in that moment, is this a side of Addis that I've just never seen before, and this is what he's usually like? Because when I tell you there was holes in his room in the drywall that looked fucking sus, like he was one of those people that like punched holes in walls when he got quite angry. Yeah. I never asked any questions about the holes. I did ask about one hole, which was pretty bad, and he said that it was his ex. But anyways, so Anna and everyone was there. So then I like went out there. I was trying to talk to them. Anna was just trying to manipulate me to not leave, not call the police, not get in the Uber, to talk, and we can all talk and we can all sort it out. Whatever. So obviously I'm like, fuck no. I'm thinking, fuck no. I need my phone. I need to get my shit, and I need to get out of here because I cannot sleep in a bed with this freak, this guy that just held a knife up to his throat, chased me around with it, beat me, pushed me into walls, bedside tables, and is screaming in my face that he's going to kill himself and he's going to jump in the canal, and he was punching himself in the head too. Like, I was like, holy fuck. I never experienced something like that. And it reminded me of childhood when I'd be getting like beaten by my stepfather and shit. I just didn't like it. And so obviously I ran back into the room. I need to get my phone. My Uber's probably like 5 minutes away by now because so much time had passed. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I grab my phone. I'm texting Bailey. I've got my bag. Atis is talking to Mama and Anna, and I don't know what the fuck's going on out there because I'm not there. I'm just texting my friend like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Atis is abusing me. I need to get the fuck out. I'm going to get an Uber to your house, So he, obviously talking to them for a while, runs back into the room where I am. And, he sees me on my phone. He's like, no, she's actually leaving. Like, he starts to freak out again. So he starts to get really, like, in this oh my God, I don't even know the words to explain. Just really manic. Like, in that moment, me leaving was, like, the worst thing in the world. And he needed me to stay so bad that his brain's not thinking straight. He will just do anything to try and get me to stay. So he grabs the knife and he slits his wrist in front of my face. And he's like, please stay, I'll kill myself. He slits his wrist in front of my face. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. I cannot believe that I'm witnessing this. We just went from laying in bed to me telling him that I'm sick of his lies because he had lied to me about something. and that there was so many red flags, and I didn't like the OF money being taken and all this, and I wanted to lower the percentage and yada, yada, to now him abusing me, threatening to kill himself with a knife, physically self-harming himself, and just being completely erratic. A completely different artist that I never saw before. And I was like shaking. I was like, holy fuck. So I start screaming when I see him cutting his wrist, when he slit it. Screaming for Anna, screaming for mama, screaming for someone to help, because I thought he was seriously hurt. I didn't see how deep it was. I don't know. So I run out of that other room, through the bathroom to the other room, and I try and close the door, because I just close the door because I don't know if he's running, but I don't know if he has a knife. Like, I don't know if he's coming to get me next. He's going to do something to me. So I'm in this room. I'm going back and forth with Mama and Anna, and then I run out the other way. So then he's like running through the sliding door, and in that, he's like with his slit arm opening the door. And I'm just going to show you some screenshots here because, I mean, yeah, we need the receipts, right? What's a story without a receipt? So here's some of the messages where in 2020, I had sent a message to my friend Bailey and I said, I need help. She said, with what, babe? I said, Attis has just abused me and his blood is all over the walls. He stole my phone and laptop. Bailey said, wait, what? What do I do? What's the address? I said, I just found my phone. He doesn't know. So this was when I was in the other room using my phone. She said, should I call cops? I said, I'm going to get an Uber out of here. She said, should I tell his sister he abused you? She said, please do. I'm scared. I'll call cops if I don't hear from you for a while. Why is his blood everywhere? Mick, get a taxi if you have to. What's going on? Do I call the cops? I'm going to message Anna. I said, he took my phone again. He's crazy, because that's when he took it again. And then I had gotten it back because I wasn't responding to her for a while. She was freaking out. She was texting Anna. Anna was not replying to anyone, of course, because she was too busy dealing with the situation at hand. She said, fuck, I thought he might have. I'm so scared. I messaged Anna. I'm freaking out. I said, absolutely psycho. She said, I feel sick. I said, unsend the message. I'm not going to talk to either of them. I'm not going to talk to either of them. She said, shit, I unsent it. Where are you now? Did you get your phone back? I said, I'm in the bedroom. She said, if Anna is trying to justify whatever he has done, it's unjustifiable. I said, blood all over walls. She said, from him, how? I said, Anna is very manipulating, because she was manipulating me to stay, to try and talk, to try and come to a resolution and fix this issue. And as I said, her demeanor was blasé. She had seen something like this before. And yeah, he did shit like this to his ex. So, but I didn't know at the time. But I knew something was up. I said, Anna is very manipulating. And then I sent a video of the blood on the walls. And here is just a screenshot of the video where you can see the blood. And as I said, he cut his wrist. So when he opened that door real quick, the blood kind of smeared across the door when he was trying to get to me, when he had the knife in his other hand. So yeah, it's just fucked. So here's the receipts. In that moment, the Uber had cancelled. So I didn't even get to check you know how I said that I thought the Uber was 5 minutes away? I didn't even get to check if the Uber was 5 minutes away. The Uber had cancelled. It was just like a random area, rural. It was like somebody might like accept the trip and then they're like, oh, slack, it's too far away. And it was in the middle of the night, you know, whatever. So I didn't have an Uber to get out of there. And I just feel pathetic. I feel pathetic for sitting here and saying that I stayed, because it's so pathetic. It is so pathetic. I did stay because Anna is very manipulating. She's very coercive, just like she is on her social media. She manipulated me to stay, and I'm an idiot, and I stayed, and that's on me. So I stayed, and I spoke, and I tried to work it out, and I don't know why. I can't tell you why I stayed, other than maybe there's something wrong with my brain, as I was talking about earlier at the start of this, that is as from everything from childhood, maybe there's something wrong with me that I cannot explain, to why I willingly stayed that night. I don't know why I stayed. So then obviously I was talking with Anna in the bedroom while, you know, Attis was with his mum somewhere. And Anna was in my bedroom, and, you know, the blood was still on the walls, and we were just having this conversation about how we need to work it out, and I'm the best thing for him, and like, you know, we need to look after him and be there for each other. We're a family now, and like all this stuff. And I was just fucking falling for it and believing it and just staying. And this was the first time that Atis had physically abused me, and the first time that Anna had manipulated me, other than like, you know, to get me to do the OnlyFans stuff. But this was not the last time that he physically abused me. This was not the last time that Anna, you know, manipulated me to stay with him as an abuser. This was not the last time that my dumbass saw something so fucking concerning and experienced something so shit and then didn't leave. So I don't know. I guess I started to develop some sort of Stockholm. I was getting hurt by this man, and because I felt so hurt and I needed fixing, I allowed this man to help me and aid me in that position. So, you know, it became a toxic cycle of where he would break me down, but then he would also fix me. And then my brain, which is obviously not fucking normal, got addicted to this like high of being him fixing the situation, and started seeing him in a positive light, completely disregarding the fact that he was the one breaking me down. But anyway, you know, my friend Bailey sent me this message because obviously I was supposed to come to her house. I could have, you know, called the police or called a taxi and tried to tell the taxi place the situation and get them to come and, you know, pay whatever money it took to get out of there. But I didn't. And then my friend Bailey sent me this Snapchat, and she says, you know, from 2020, "I love you, baby. Please stay safe. I think you might have Stockholm. I am genuinely scared I'm never going to see you again, and that family's taking you over. And Atis clearly has problems with me and letting you see me. I get scared every day. I don't hear from you anymore. I'm scared the next time I see you will be on TV for not good reasons because of that monster." Yes, I know a lot of people that got raised in different environments and they don't have, you know, things wrong with them. How it's easy for someone to be like, "Why did you stay? This is on you. You stayed with this guy that was hurting you and taking your money and doing all this stuff to you." And I get you. I do get you. But as I said, looking back at the person I was that was experiencing these things, I don't even recognize her. I don't. I think I've just done a lot of healing when I, obviously, in late 2022, when I got away from this family. Yeah, so clown on me all you want. I mean, I deserve it because, yeah, I knew what it was and I stayed. So here's just more receipts, kind of like laminating the situation with the knife existing, because I sent Anna a message, obviously, when I was dealing with further abuse and further problems from Addis Pool. I sent her a message saying, "Definitely remember that knife shit at the Pimentori," which was what we called the house as a nickname. I said, "After that big fight, that's the worst he's done." She responds, and this was 17th of December in 2020. She says, "Yeah, that traumatized me. I can't even go in that room anymore or smell that room." So this is just further receipts, because as I said, what's a story without a receipt? That this knife incident took place, and it was very fucking traumatic, not just for me, but for Anna herself, supposedly. Yet I'm not trying to blame Anna for making me stay, but she was definitely fucking manipulative. And if it wasn't for her convincing me to stay, I wouldn't have stayed. Also, in these screenshots, there's just like other BS that happened. Like, you know, how I said here, also what's really sad is that he punches himself in the head too. And I scream at him when he does that, and it's always over nothing. You know, as I said, throughout this relationship the entire time, there was always fights that would start because I would try and lower my OnlyFans percentage, or I didn't want to do a certain piece of content. I mean, you're going to see a lot more receipts in the future, but like, I didn't want to film some certain type of thing for my website. He would get angry at me and start a fight, and then I would want to like leave, and then he would do this and punch himself in the head, and like he would just do anything in that moment to get me to stay. And because I loved this person and I cared about this person, even just him hitting himself hard in the head with his own fist would make me snap into this protection mother mode where I would need to comfort him in that moment. So although he was breaking me down and hurting me, and I had every right to want to get up and leave, he would bring physical threats to jump off the balcony, like even opening up the sliding door and trying to launch his body off the fucking balcony ledge to get me in that moment to succumb and be like worried about him and comforting him and being all over him, trying to stop him from you doing something. So he knew it worked, and almost every single time he used it, every single freaking week when we would have something. But I mean, again, more receipts, just to show that this was, you know, what happened all on the regular, because that shit would happen all the time. You know, Atis lost all of his money again right before Christmas and anniversary, and I had to lend him $5,000 because, you know, he had a gambling problem and used all my money. He would use my 50% income that he would get and gamble it all, and then when he lost it all, he would take my other money. So yeah, just because, you know, he would threaten to try and kill himself because he doesn't have money on Christmas. It was just like, oh, this little screaming baby that was just like so sorry for himself and would be able to manipulate me because obviously I had love and cared for him again, and would just smash himself in the head or try to jump off the balcony or whatever it is. It was like everyone's job to like keep Addis in check or like look after Addis, and it was always about him. So like, is Addis hungry? Like, I just noticed that his mother and Anna just like enabled this behavior, and like everything was about Addis, and he got everything he wanted, and everything was about him every day. So like, what does he want to eat? How does he feel today? Did he make enough money this week? What's going on with Addis? It was just like, he was king dingaling, and everyone else in the house just had to fucking put up with shit. Sorry, I'm burping. And go out of their way to like fucking make him happy. It was just like kissing his feet. But it wasn't just like jumping off balconies, punching himself in the head, threatening me with a knife, you know, cutting his wrist, pushing me down, shoving me into walls to lock me in a room. It was, if this ever happened by chance in a car, so we would ever be driving in a car and a little fight or a little argument would pop up, he would slam on the fucking brakes while going who knows how fast. He would drive over roundabouts. He'd go up on the side. If it didn't have a gutter, he'd like be all scary to try and scare me in that moment to like, I don't know, like agree to what he's saying or not leave or give him more money on the percentage. It was just fucking crazy. Like, this happened all the time with the brakes, with the slamming on the brakes. And like, you know, obviously when you're going so fast in a car and you've got a seatbelt on and they slam on the brakes, your like whole body jolts, of course. But, you know, every other time I had a seatbelt on, except for one time I kind of like hit my ear on the side and it was kind of like a bit hot and swollen. But another time that was just like the worst time it ever happened, and it never happened after this. So like one day I was going to Pack Fair and I was in the car and we were arguing. We were arguing about multiple things. We were arguing about the percentage, and we were arguing about my spam TikTok account and how I had made videos on there that were like kind of like thirst trappy TikToks and other big names in America. I'm not going to say names, but this other TikToker that was very popular for being like attractive had followed me on that account, and he had saw it and he was jealous. And this man was so jealous about other men. I'm not even bothering to go down that rabbit hole. But, you know, just kind of like abusing me, kind of like trying to make me feel like shit or make me feel inferior. So anyways, this day I was just so fucking sick of it and fed up with it that I literally just said like, okay, well, you're never going to see me after like drop me off and I'm done. Like, I'm not going to come home. I'm going to go stay at Bailey's. Like, I'm going to do something else. Slams on the brakes. He's going like 60 kilometers per hour in this car park because he speeds up to then brake. And I had taken my seatbelt off because, as I said, at Pacific Fair, which is the shopping center, you pull up and you can do like a drop off and then you can leave. He like was already going slow because took my seatbelt off. I was about to get out of the car. He then speeds the car up like full revving and then brakes so quick after that I smash into the freaking windshield of the car. I will give him credit for this. I do believe he thought I had my seatbelt on. I don't think he knew that my seatbelt was off because he was so shocked by the fact that I did go into the windshield and smashing into it that, he was taken aback. So I believe it wasn't his intention to hurt me that badly. But at the end of the day, I was still fucking hurt. I was badly hurt. My head was ringing. Like, when I tell you I hit my head so hard that my ears were just ringing and I couldn't see properly. And I was like, it all happened so quick. I was just in a daze. And I just couldn't believe that this had happened. Like, oh my God. And I remember I like got up and I looked at him, and obviously it was fuzzy. I don't know. I was kind of thinking I was like on the side too. And I just looked at him and he was just like, of course, in that same manic pupil Attis, the insane one, the switch. And he was just looking at me and he was just like, no, baby, are you okay? He was screaming. And I was like, oh my God, like we're in Pac Fair, we're in the car park. This is insane. And, you know, that was something that I thought, but obviously my body's fucking ringing. I'm like, holy fuck, what's just happened? My man, like he's literally just hurt me. I don't know if my head split. I don't know if the glass is smashed. Like I'm still trying to gather pieces of information of what's happening here. But all I knew is that he was in that state. He was in that switch Attis mode. And I did not know what he was going to do next. Like I couldn't predict it. So what does he do? He speeds up the car even more, drives it into, like whips it into a park real quick, probably not even lined up, opens my car door, pushes my body out the other side. So obviously I'm standing up, but he like pushes me out of the car, not like aggressively, but he's like guiding me out of the car. So obviously I'm getting out. But when I get out, he speeds the car and drives off. But before he like shuts that car door that he just kicked me out of, he says, you're never going to see me again. I'm going to drive off a fucking bridge. I'm so sorry. I'm fucked up. I fucked up for good this time or whatever else. All right. So he was just kind of like trying to play I am the bad guy. I'm a bad person. Like, but now it's all about him because he's threatening suicide right now while I have a concussion probably. And my fucking head's throbbing. I can't even see it. I don't know what's going on. So then he speeds away. He closes the car door and speeds away so loud in the car park. I'm looking around, but no one's actually out, surprisingly. Nobody's really seeing this shit. I mean, it's in the middle of the day on a weekday during COVID. We had no fucking normal job. Everyone has lives. No one's shopping in the middle of the day. But in that moment, I was like, holy fuck. I like felt my head. I looked at my hand. There was a little bit of blood. And then obviously the days later had progressed into just like a big egg. It wasn't like that bad. It was like the tiniest little thing. It looked like a pimple. It wasn't bad. But what did I do? What did I do in that moment when I had just got abused by my partner and I was feeling like shit and I had every right in the world to leave for? What did I do? I bet you can guess. I frantically tried to call him, frantically texting, like so worried about like what he's going to do. Because will he just drive this speeding car into another car? Will he hurt someone else? Will he jump off a bridge? Will he crash it? Will he crash it into a bridge? That's what I was thinking. I had no time to think about anything else, like if I'm okay or what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get out of here. So what did I do? I was calling and texting him. He didn't reply to me for like 20 minutes too. And I'm standing in the car park, worried as fuck, thinking about it. Missed my fucking appointment. Lucky it was just a chop shop walk-in. I just ended up walking in later and getting them done anyway still. But yeah, like he was always the priority. Whenever he would do some damage, it was always about him and how I'm going to fix him. It was never like, oh my God, I'm so sorry what I've done to you, da-da-da-da-da. And that was a pattern that he obviously enjoyed playing into because everything was about him. He was used to everything being about him. He was the center of everything. And if it wasn't, he would make it. So as I said, here's a receipt of Bailey talking about that with her brother. This is from 2021. You know, obviously you have to redact certain things for DV if I ever tried to go to court. Not going to show photos of it. You can see here messages between her and her brother. But as I said, this type of shit happened all the time. Like, I don't even think you guys are having doubts. It's just so stupid. So obviously 20 minutes, I hadn't heard from him, but I had been blowing Bailey's phone up, talking to Bailey about it. Bailey and I were talking on the phone, so obviously that's a phone call. But Bailey was just so off these people. It was just so fucked. And it was probably so like heartbreaking for her to see me continuously go back and stay. And then obviously with this whole situation with the car thing, I had gone to Anna too and called her and spoke to her or something like that. I think voice messages. But, you know, Atis ended up calling me back after about, I don't know, half an hour or so, crying, being like, I'm so sorry. I've just gone home. Like, I'll see you when you're at home. I'm like, I want to talk about it. I'm so excited to see you. And it was just like back to scratch. Like what, after half an hour, you're back to the same shit. But I've got a big egg on my head and I'm at my appointment. You know, my face is fucking swollen as fuck. I'm crying. The now lady's probably thinking like, holy fuck, what's going on with this girl? She's probably got COVID. Obviously, because this was during COVID times. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so fucked. there would be random times where I'd see like content on like social media that would be like about DV and like victims and like the way the brain works for people with like, you know, the things that have happened to them in childhood. Obviously, I was 21 when all this was happening, like 2021. And I was starting to become a little bit self-aware of what was going on up here and why I allowed this and what childhood trauma can do to a person. So I was kind of becoming a little self-aware when I would see content on TikTok or social media. So even when I'd see like a joke about it or a meme about it, I would kind of like go and deep dive, and then I'd realize I'm in a fucked situation, and then I'd randomly pack a bag and leave. So because I randomly packed a bag and left one night, and I don't know what day this is because this screenshot, I mean, it's happened all the fucking time, I don't know. But, you know, Bailey posted up this screenshot of Atis messaging her because obviously I was gone. I ditched his ass. It says, Bailey, please answer. Mick completely didn't understand a TikTok meme and now broke up with me. She says, I don't understand it either, to be honest. Because anytime I thought I'm being abused, I'm in a situation, he's doing something to hurt me, he's doing something, I'd want to leave. And I guess that was pretty fucking often. Did I ever successfully leave? Sure, there was times where I actually packed a bag and might have stayed in an Airbnb for a week or two, but I never actually left this man. And yeah, blame me. And you should. You should blame me, because whether it's Stockholm, whether it's childhood abuse, BPD, whatever it is, at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I don't want to victim blame. I don't want to victim blame anyone else, but like, it's okay if you victim blame me. I don't care if you victim blame me, because I get what you're saying. But I'm, as a healed person watching this now, I'm just like, oh my God, I don't care if you guys are commenting like you're an idiot for staying. Like, yes, I am. Yes, I am an idiot. I've come to terms with that. I've accepted it, so I don't mind. These are just some screenshots of a conversation that Glenn and I were having. Obviously, when this stuff had come out, he reached out to me and we had some conversations about stuff. You know, we've always remained friends. We've always been friends regardless of, you know, we've been friends since I was dating Atis back in that fucking house. And, you know, although I have my opinions on, you know, whatever Glenn endured from that family, that's not my place to speak. That's not my place to come out. I'm not making anything public. Glenn and I have had our conversations, and I'm just posting these 2 receipts from conversations that I've had with Glenn. I'm not going to be showing any other screenshots, because Glenn, that is a private conversation between Glenn and I, and Glenn, I respect Glenn's privacy. And, you know, if Glenn's out here and he's not saying anything, then that's what he wants to do, and I respect that 100%. However, when you have stuff about DV, and, you know, you've got people saying that it's all made up and fake, you know, Anna Paul's Ride or Die, Ratty fans, I'm going to put certain screenshots of Glenn's conversation in here that can kind of give you an idea and confirmation that Glenn did witness these things, of course, and he did a lot to try and help the situations as well at certain times when this would be happening in the room next to him. I don't want anyone to come after Glenn. Glenn's had enough bullying from Anna's fans. He was always somebody that advocated against the violence and would, when he saw it, would come into the room and help. I would also get Anna to go to him to tell Atis certain things, because, you know, a man to a man is going to be different. So here's just some screenshots. I was having a conversation with Glenn about another woman that Atis dated after me that has told me some stuff about, you know, shit she endured. And I was talking to him. I said, yeah, Atis just pulled the same shit on her, would punch walls and scream in her face, saying he's going to kill himself, XYZ, you know the vibes. Probably heard domestics from the other room. And he said, yes, of course I remember. Everything we ever did was for Atis, not for anyone else. Facts, dude. When I tell you everyone was just kissing the floor this man walked on, and he got away with everything, I'm not fucking lying. And then, you know, another message that Glenn and I was saying, like, that Glenn sent me was, yeah, I don't know, Atis' deal, hey, it was a 27 job to keeping him in check just so that Anna was all right. Fuck being in a relationship with that. So true. Every other message, not showing. And I'll only be talking, when I do eventually get to Glenn in this video, I will be talking from my perspective and my opinion based only. I'm not going to be saying anything else. Okay, I want to just touch a little bit more about Anna, all right? And the thing about her is she only really cared about her brother. Like, at the end of the day, you could tell her, you could cry to her, you could tell her things that are going on in the relationship, but she never really gave a fuck. You could just tell by the way she's talking because she's always defensive of him. She's always making excuses for his behavior, just enabling it. You'd tell him he did something that's like so insane that you should call the police for, but she'd also like say like, oh, that's so bad, but like you're the only person that can help, like you're the only person that can be there and like deal with him and like keep him alive, right? So like she saw him with this knife incident. She knew about the car brakes. She knew that he was trying to jump off the balcony. She knew I was unhappy with the percentage. She knew everything, and she actively participated in trying to convince me that her brother was a good person and that I should stay with him. And these are some receipts. She was just a person that I knew for so many years that I thought was my friend, that was also sisters with the man that was beating my ass and also stealing my money and also threatening, like emotionally blackmailing me to hand him my money by suicide threats almost every single week. So she was okay. Like she was okay with me being in the situation. And that's, as a friend, like, is that, like, was she doing that because she wanted Atis to have money so he wouldn't die? So like I'm chopped liver and mine needs a chopped liver because it's all about her brother. Like that's how I see it. So anyway, here's some like screenshots of like, I would tell her like Atis did this to me today, and she'd send me, 10 minutes worth of voice messages here. She'd be like saying like, you're the only one that can get through to him. No joke. The things that you say to him could save his life. You're the only one that can get through to him. By changing his mindset now, you could be saving his life of 25-year-old Atis. Like it's my responsibility to keep this man alive. Like it's my responsibility to make his bank bigger. Like it's my responsibility to do everything for him. It was insane. The manipulation was insane. Like I just couldn't see it. I would tell her that he's trying to jump in the canal today. He doesn't want to live if I leave him, and I'm so sick of it, Anna. He's been so full on lately. He tries jumping off the balcony at least once a week at the apartment, which was like this place we were at, over tiny little things. I said we always sort it out, but I think one day he did the suicide threat, talking about that knife incident. And now he does it all the time. Literally like every fucking week. Like multiple times a week, I would say. I would just tell her that he just cries and says he's going to kill himself. Like these are all different timelines here. Like this is how often this happened. That's why when I'm just like popping all these screenshots up, that I could put hundreds of screenshots up here. This happened all the time, and the severity would vary. So like there was the worst times, like the knife incident and the car breaks in Pac Fair, but there were just like other incidences where he would punch holes in hotel walls, and I'd have to pay for the repairs. Just always doing something. All right. Yeah, as I said, he would always gamble, like trade and like crypto, like all this stuff he would do, like all this money making shit with the 50% he was getting from me. He'd lose money almost every time because this man's silly and doesn't know what he's doing, and he's fucking around with such large lump sums of money, practically gambling. And he would lose money, and then he would try to kill himself. He would kill himself. Like it wasn't even out of my control. It was not like something that like I was trying to make the percentage less or something. He would literally just, for the simple fact of like lose his own money from the 50% he already robbed off me, and then like try to jump off the balcony or something. Just started saying he's going to jump in the canal because I was upset that he lost money, because again, he would drain his entire bank account. Like this man had no savings. He would take 50% from me, but he would never save any of it because it was always getting put into investments or crypto or like freaking trades that he would lose. And I would tell him like to save money. It's Christmas time. You want to do something nice. Like we want to go on a holiday, and he would never have money in the bank. With more convincing, he might dial it down, like even Glenn. So like I was trying to like confide in Anna, try to get Anna to ask Glenn, because I wasn't just going to go to Glenn. I mean, this was early days. Like I just didn't feel like I could go to Glenn. Glenn had a day job. He was doing stuff with his family. I wasn't just going to come and tell Glenn all the shit. I felt more comfortable with Anna, but then again, like she would get Glenn to do it, and then Glenn would have to do it. It was just like, oh my fucking God, someone tell this kid to shut the fuck up and stop being so crazy. Another time I was saying like, he's trying to kill himself, again. And it's just like, and I'm going to give her some credit here. It's not like every single time I would tell her something bad, she would always try to, stick up for him in the situation. There was times where she didn't stick up for him, but still at the end of the conversation, it was like coercive, trying to remain to stay. Here she said, I'll give her some credit. Here she said, because resorting to suicide threats over a breakup is absolutely fucked. And there's so much to life and you're going to threaten to end it all over a breakup. That puts pressure on you too. Like, it's fucked. This was something real bad that this happened, where she's talking. If he ever threatens that in the house, I'm going to call the mental hospital on him so they can chill him out. I'm not dealing with that toxic shit in the house I live in. Anyways, ha ha ha. Yeah, I reckon Glenn should talk to him when we're back. Because this was a really bad event. Did she ever call the mental hospital on her brother? No. Did she witness many more times and domestics screaming from that fucking bedroom? Yes, she did. Like, the whole like restraining me again and pushing me into like sinks and shit when like I hit my back on the freaking tap and it was like a big fucking black bruise. Like, she heard shit and like whatever. Like, she never helped. She never did anything. Is she the person that should help? No. Like, am I going to hold that against her head? Like, no. But also, she saw this with the ex. She's an enabler. I'm somebody that's mentally unstable. I've got something wrong with me. I've sexually abused throughout childhood. This is all I know. So as a healed sort of kind of, I'm not perfectly healed, but as a healed-ish person now, looking back, I was just a vulnerable person. I did not see what was going on. I was so addicted to the broken and then the quick fix after. I was addicted to that quick fix, that pain getting resolved, which was from him, which was making it all better. I was just addicted to that. And I would crave that every time, that it was just easy for me to give in and be all good again, you know? Anyways, I don't want to try and sit and explain myself, but... So another fucked up story that my friend Bailey witnessed, where Atis pulled a suicide threat that was very, very abusive, was we had gone out clubbing. We had gone to the Bedroom on the Gold Coast, and it's honestly such a beautiful club. It was so fun. I was a bit younger then, so I don't know what it's like now, but... So obviously Bailey knew Atis was very abusive and they clashed. They didn't like each other. But I would never be allowed to have fun. I would never be able to go anywhere without Atis. I would never be able to go to a club without Atis ever in a million years. But me and Bailey, we were craving a night out. We were craving having fun. Like, we were craving doing something. So what did I do? I tried to make my friend Bailey and Atis make up. And I said, Bailey's going to come over. We're going to do our makeup and we're going to go out and we're going to have a good night. Let's get over all the negative shit. Like, let's change our lives. Like, let's put this all to bed. And we were at this club and I had gone to the toilet. And I came back when I went to the toilet and I couldn't find Atis anywhere. He wasn't there. He wasn't around. I was literally looking in this club for him. Like, where the fuck is he? We couldn't see him at all. Like, he was gone. I don't know where the fuck he was. And I was looking for him for like 20 minutes. He wasn't inside the club. So I presumed that he was outside, and he doesn't smoke. So I was just like really confused where he was, probably cheating. Who knows? So what did I do? I had an anxiety attack after about 20 minutes because I had an overwhelming amount of like people that knew me from TikTok and stuff, like asking for photos and stuff. And like, I was just having an anxiety attack in that moment because I was like, you know, this crazy man that's so suicidal, that's so on edge all the time, that can switch. Like, what has happened? Like, he wasn't answering his phone either. So I went home and started driving back to the apartment because I was thinking that's where he would be. Like, maybe he got jealous of me and Bailey dancing and he just got all mad and he went home because, as I said, that's the kind of actions that this man would have. So I went back to the apartment, and as I said, it's far from the club. It's like a 25, 30 minutes or something like that. I was in the fucking car and he started to text me when I was like 5 minutes away from the apartment. Where are you? Where are you? And I said, I went home. Where are you? And he goes, what the fuck? Like, why are you at home? Like, where are you? What the fuck? Like, what did you do? Where are you at? And I was just like, look, I couldn't see you anywhere. I don't know where you were. I came home because I thought you were going to be here. So like, what the fuck's going on here? But as I said, like, this man just flips out. He doesn't see reason. He doesn't, I don't know. He just likes to carry on for a bit or something. Jesus. He was carrying on and I was just like, no, it's okay. Like, whatever. Like, just come home. Like, the night's over anyway. Like, it's late. Like, whatever. Let's be done with it. So, but obviously I'm like standoffish because I'm like, where the fuck was he then? Where was he this whole time? Like, we couldn't see him for 20 minutes and then like, he's gone. So I was kind of like over message being like, yeah, well, so where actually were you then? But I was just kind of being snarky back. I was like, well, don't blame me. Like, you're the one that left. So anyways, he gets to the apartment, gets dropped off in the Uber, whatever. So we're in the lobby downstairs in the car park and it's all there. It's cement everywhere. He starts yelling at me and screaming at me and carrying on. And I just literally, like, I was just so sick of him. I was just so done. Like, he was already taking 50% of my income. He was gambling away his, and then he was taking loans from me. Like, and I'm talking large lump sums of money, like 10, 20K, 30K and shit. And he was losing it all. And it was like, I was already in such a low place because he was taking my money and doing investments and trades that were also losing. So not only was he like losing his own money, that was also my 50% income, you know, losing that on trades, getting loans from mine, he would lose those. And then he would take mine and then he would lose those too. So I think I had lost $120,000 on plus 500 in the span of a week and a half on a trade that he put on my phone, natural gas. I'm the fool. I thought it was a good idea at the time. I thought, yeah, he made some money like the day before. I didn't understand trading. I didn't understand how bad this can get. I had lost $120,000 Australian. Don't make me put the receipts up here because it has information. But I can show people. I'll post it. Just hit me up about it later. I don't have it in my phone here ready to go. But hey guys, I actually got the freaking receipts. So please have a look at the screen right now if you want to see some diabolical fucking receipts. Yeah, so $120,000 on plus 500. And I was shocked, dude. I was so sick of this man. So when he was already going off, he was missing in the club, he was all of this shit. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to get Bailey and we're going to go back to her house. I'm so over this. He starts to freak out again. Pupils change, switch, the different artists. Knew it was coming though. I knew it was going to come. But I thought, oh, well, we're in our apartment place and, you know, he won't really do anything down here to me and he won't be loud or anything like that because he won't be too loud or anything like that because there's people here. But no, he started screaming. He started screaming like loud and long. And I was like, oh my God. And for some reason, like from childhood, because I would always have like screaming infants in the house, like 3 or 4 of them at a time because my mom was always fucking pregnant and high on drugs. Just hearing like loud noise, like screaming and shit like that. And like, it just triggers me. It snaps me into instant comfort mode, trying to comfort him. And that's what I did. I was like, shh, shh, shh. Oh my God. Like whatever you need right now for me to get you to stop carrying on and screaming, I'm going to do it. So of course, I comfort him, whatever, but he's not responding to my comfort. He's not responding. He wants to carry on more. He wants to scare me more. He wants to put me in a position where I'm feeling uncomfortable, where he's grabbing his iPhone and he's smashing it on the floor until the screen looks white from the amount of like breakage in the glass. My friend Bailey's in shock. He's there saying he's going to kill himself. He's running into the apartment building to go up to the elevator, to go up to our room so he can jump off the balcony. And then he's screaming, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to die. And then my friend Bailey goes, yeah, just fucking do it. We're so sick of it. And she ate. And I don't care, like, what people have to say, like, oh my God, like, she's wrong for that. Like, she's not wrong for that. You know, Anna would always send me messages anytime she found out I was talking to Bailey and just kind of say, like, hope this is a one-off mistake. She was okay with Addis killing himself, you know, just trying to, like, get rid of Bailey because Bailey was the one that saw through the shit and she would tell me to leave. And, you know, I would go and stay at her house with her and her partner and it would be like my little safe haven where I had a little spare bedroom there and I'd go there every time I needed to run away from Addis. But I always found my way back there. I always found my way back to him. When I moved into this house with Anna and Addis, because I already previously lived with them, and then I had moved into an apartment on the Gold Coast because I lived up in Brisbane, I felt so alone in the house. You know, my boyfriend was a monster, like so was his sister and his mom, because obviously throughout all of these timelines here, there's so many things happening that I haven't brought up. There's a lot of jealousy from Anna and Mama towards Atis and me having his attention and all that. So the reason why Atis and I had moved into an apartment on the Gold Coast in the first place was because I was literally being bullied by Anna and Mama, and I felt like I wanted to move to the Gold Coast to live on my own, and Atis of course just came with me because he liked the Gold Coast and he also felt the pressures from his family as well. Yeah, like Anna was just bullying me, she was being fake to me, she was calling me ugly to her brother over text, talking so much shit about me to the point where it was in German in person. This sounds so outlandish, but when I tell you it's no word of a lie. And of course, like when she was speaking German and talking shit about me, like to like between Mama and Anna, this was way before I could speak any German. So like when I tell you I had no idea what they were saying, I didn't know. I could tell the tone was like maybe something was going on, but it was shit talk. And I knew that because Atis would tell me the things that they would say. So Atis, and I feel like this was some sort of like manipulation and gaslighting from his end to try and get me to stay and maybe think he's a little bit more genuine than he really is. He would kind of like come to me and say like, oh, Anna and Mama are the problem. They're the reason why I'm like this. Like they talk so much shit about you. I just love you so much. Like we need to, if we ever want to be happy and have a happy life together, we need to run away from them. I'll never be happy with them. They did this to my ex. Just run his mouth about that type of shit. So that's what another thing was that was in my brain making me think, okay, so it's them as well. It's not just kind of you being fucked and maybe you're like this because of them. Pathetic, I know, but like, you know, whatever. Yeah, so while all this bullying was happening, I would just like cry in my bed. I was like alone. I was sad. I would go through Atis's phone while he's asleep and read all the group chats and translate them from German to English. And it was just like the most nasty, disgusting shit about me. And obviously I knew that Anna and Mama were like that because they, you know, were messaging me back in the day, calling Atis's girlfriend that he had, you know, before me, so Alice. Anna would message me being like, oh my God, Alice is so ugly, da 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 da. But like, you know, when you're the person, you don't think it's going to happen to you, but like you also do think it's going to happen to you. So when I would hear her talking shit about Steph and Glenn and everyone being like all this nasty stuff, I thought, you know, for sure when my back is turned, like, you know, they're going to be saying shit. And they were. You know, I read it all and shit and I would just never say anything because I was just like a weak, gutless person. And I never wanted to make it worse for myself because, I don't know, DV situation, what can I say? Didn't leave, didn't say nothing, didn't speak, was weak, all that. Clown me all you want. I was a fucking idiot. And of course, when we moved into this big mansion house, it was like, you know, Hope Island area and the Gold Coast, insanely big, like 300 square meter type, like floor plan and stuff. You know, she started to post TikToks and stuff. And this is when she was really taking off. She was really gaining followers on TikTok. And so she kind of had this like fan base already that were, you know, coming up to us. Like anytime we'd go to a cafe, we'd be getting bombarded because she had all these fans and stuff like that. So another reason why I never really wanted to speak up and necessarily like cause drama with her and arguments with her was because like, I don't know, I was just kind of scared of her fans because they were already kind of hating on me just because I was the brother's girlfriend. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like whenever there's someone in the background of someone's content that's not talking and they might seem quite shy or something like that, people just take it the wrong way and start commenting hate, you know? So that's what was happening. I was getting hated on. So I was shy. So when I read messages, I never fucking said anything. I'll just cry to Addis, of course, but Addis wouldn't tell them, I don't think. When we moved into this house together, the abuse was just like insane. It was just way worse. Here's like a video of like, of course this is in 2022, 27th of March, just like fucking my room up. This was one of the videos I had where I actually had a video. You know, ripped the clothes hanger down. You can hear me crying in this video too. And I'm just sobbing. Like I'm just fucking so upset. He's fucked my whole closet up. Probably because of some fight that we had and where I wanted to leave. And he would have just been causing havoc in the room, punching himself in the head. As usual. Now I just want to get into some other sort of topic here. And although in the end of this video I'm going to be addressing Anna and many, many other things, I need to address this now. And I need to address this now because it's actually the worst part of this, and this is my main motive for this entire video. I mean, I wouldn't have done this podcast if I didn't need to say the things that I'm about to say. Back in 2021, basically what happened is Attis's ex-girlfriend had started to come out with some allegations against Attis. They were very, at first, superficial, like, allegations. So it originally starts with Alice posting, you know, funny little TikToks, and she might mention in there saying something about, you know, like dating like an older man that kind of maybe took advantage of her and stuff like that, but she never said names. But of course people from the hometown were like commenting on the video and saying things like, is this Attis? Is this Attis Paul? This is Attis and Anna Paul. You know what I'm saying? So Attis, the silly Billy that he is, he gets really angry about this. He's obviously talking shit about Alice first already on his social media, but I'll get to that in a minute. He types up a letter. He creates a fake brand email to pretend he's looking for brand ambassadors and sends her this spammy ass email to get access to her address so that he can send her this fake cease and desist that he typed up and printed himself. And I'm going to read it. It says, "Dear Alice Patterson, Johannes Paul," which is his legal name, "is a respectable and admired individual in the social media community and has spent his life building a positive reputation. It has been brought to our attention that you are dispersing both malicious and inaccurate information that is or will be damaging to their professional character. Under the laws of blah, 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 blah," let me get to the good part. The rules that he wrote in here. This is so poorly written. As Alice said, you can see here, "You are not to mention anything relating to or about Johannes Paul as if you knew him personally." It says, "You are not to disclose any information or any relations you may or may not have had with him by word of mouth or on any social media, websites, online, etc. You must seize all current videos on TikTok made about or directed at Johannes Paul, including those lying about the age gap." One of them linked below with a pathetic link. "You must seize all comments, posts, videos. You must this, you must do that. All public and private messages, comments, posts regarding Johannes Paul and yourself are to be ignored." And then it says, if you must not mention the cease and desist to anyone or you will be held accountable. What does she do? She opens this letter up, and as the slay bae she is, she posts it straight on her story. Okay, so when this gets posted on her story, it blows up. As I said, Anna is so popular on TikTok. The whole country knows Anna at this point. She's getting millions and millions of views. I'm getting millions of views on my videos too, and Alice is getting millions of views. So all eyes are on us at this time, and this was hot goss. Everyone was talking about it. So Alice starts to get the validation that she's craved all along. She's starting to realize how badly abused she was by this family and Attis, and how fucked up the age gaps really were. So this post drops. After the letter, this post drops, and it says, "To anyone normalizing 13-year-olds dating 16-plus-year-olds," because he was literally about to turn 17, and I think he was 17 at the point that she was 13, but I don't know. I think so. Yes, I think that's why he went to jail, didn't go to jail, but he got sentenced and charged and convicted. But there's more on that fact, so I'm going to get back to it later. But I hope you give that same energy to your younger sibling if she finds herself in this position. Better yet, child. Dating Attis is a time in my life that has been very detrimental to my mental health and self-esteem. Post-healing from the breakup, it took me well over a year to fully recover from all the built-up manipulation, lies, gaslighting I'd been fed and susceptible to. I believed I was mature at the time, but I had to deal with the emotional aspect for longer than the relationship took place. I literally have goosebumps because reading this now is like exactly what I went through afterwards, and she's so fucking true. She's so right for that. He told me how to act, what music I should listen to, what to wear and post so I don't come off too young. And when people would say I look older, that gave him a lot of satisfaction. But my self-image was me trying to be several years older and more mature than I was, engaging in underage drinking, drugs, sex acts with Attis Paul. I lost a lot of my true identity, youth and innocence throughout this, and mental challenges faced being within the presence of their family. And a pedestal they put themselves on. Years after healing from this, I felt no need, I can't read, I'm so silly. I haven't eaten today, so I'm a bit jittery. I'm so sorry about that. I felt no need to speak on this as I've grown, but once again, I choose to be silent, and now I choose to voice against your pathetic attempt to silence me and save your career. When I wasn't coming for it in the first place, taking accountability would serve you better than threatening to destroy me in court, but that's morally correct thing to do. All right. Yep. So she posts photos, right? She posts that and it blows up. The whole internet is pissed. They are coming for my throat. They are coming for Attis's throat. They are coming for Anna's throat. It's crazy. The whole house was fucked. None of us were eating. We were just sitting there. Attis was just crying. We didn't know what to do. This time he had actually called some real lawyers, not some fake, not creating a fake fucking cease and desist, right? We had all sorts of people, you know, talking shit about us. We had all sorts of influencers defending our names. And one of the influencers that was actually defending Anna and I was Veruca. She also defended Attis at the time too, because as I said, the allegations that were out was a potential age gap relationship that was apparently a lie. So apparently the age gap that she was displaying to everyone wasn't real and wasn't true, which it was. But at the time, you know, he was denying it. He was so convincing to me. He was convincing me in person. I believed that it was a lie. And the internet was believing it too. This is Veruca defending us all the way back in, I think, 2021.
And Anna and Mikaela have always been nice to me. If you have a problem with Attis dating a 14-year-old when he was 16, it isn't really something to take out on Anna and Mikaela.
So, again, the 16-14 thing, that wouldn't be like as bad as 17 and 13 now, would it? It's still fucked. It's still somebody that's the age of consent and someone that's not, right? But 17 and 13 is so much worse. And that's exactly what it was. She wasn't lying. I just want to also add in here that Attis has gone and deleted his entire Facebook. So when I go on Facebook and I try to pull up old messages, this is what it looks like. It's just like a bubbles. It just says Facebook user. It has blue text. He deleted this Facebook the second all this drama with Alice came out. So that's really convenient. It's been deleted for years. But here is a group chat where we are talking in the group chat and she's saying like, we need to delete the chat. So she had already told me to delete the chat and that's what I had done. But the remaining messages that I'm about to show you are remaining messages that I didn't delete after I had already deleted the chat. So prior to these voice messages, there was a lot more disturbing, disgusting, despicable, coercion, victim blaming, bullying going on. But unfortunately, I don't have those receipts. But I think the receipts that I do have still are pretty fucking bad. So how I'm going to start this is a video of Attis on social media and the way he would talk about Alice prior to Alice ever opening her mouth about this man.
Probably when I was hustling back when I was like 16 and I was being held back by my dumbass bitch ex and I broke up with her and I got rich the week after because that was the only thing holding me back.
So like, first of all, who the fuck says that on their Instagram story? Second of all, this is a photo of Attis and Alice at their graduation. Alice is 13 years old in this photo and Attis is graduating. Like, ew. Ew, ew, ew. Anyways, so none of this was all out yet at the time. I was sitting in my little house and I was sitting there and the internet was bullying me and I was healing from a BBL. And like, you know, the whole house was crazy. Anna was not eating. We were all crying. You know, Attis had done this stupid shit. Like this was all Attis, but somehow we were all dragged into it. And it was just like the world's worst time ever. But here are some voice messages of Anna trying to, you know, convince me that this girl is a liar and a bad person.
Because then people could easily be like, oh, well then why would she do this then?
You know what I mean? Obviously I was skeptical because, you know, everyone's like, oh, she's just lying. But I was like, well, you know, if this is really lies like you guys say it is, like she could easily just say like, why is she doing this? So that's what I said.
Like people would easily say like, why would she, you know, say all of this? And what's really fucked up is that people are DMing me saying that, how does it feel to have a racist boyfriend because of that fucking shit that she fucking just posted on her story?
So I really thought that this girl was lying. I thought, you know, she's lying about the age gap. She's all of these things, all of these stories about apparently, you know, her spreading their address and sending shitty pizzas to, like, with anchovies and all this stuff, which he also blamed another girl for in the past, to her house, and just like all of these lies. I was believing them. And listen to this.
He completely trashed his whole room, trashed it. So Atos went up there and he restrained her. He held her and she was like squirming around and shit, and she punched him in the face. But anyway.
So when I heard the squirming restrained her, I knew exactly what that was. I knew that it wasn't just restraining. I knew it was like fucking bashing her around and holding her down and squishing her. Maybe she punched him because that was the only way she could get away. But, you know, that wasn't the first lie I heard. This was the second.
So we went to her house and told her to please stop telling people our address. And Atos was the only one who spoke. Nobody abused her. Nobody was even talking except for Atos. And Atos just asked her to stop spitting our address because it's very dangerous for our safety.
So they all went to her house, Atos and Anna and shit. Went to her house. I think parents were involved too. And was literally just ganging up on this 13-year-old girl, telling her, don't spread our address. Don't tell anyone our address. Like anyone gives a fuck where you guys live. You guys are random idiots like that live on Bribey Island. Like, I'm so sorry about my language here, but I'm just so I'm just looking at the bigger picture. Like, you guys live on an island. It's so secluded. Nobody knows your address. Nobody cares. You just want an excuse to go to a house and bully this girl, because I know you guys now, and I'm going to confidently get on here and say that it was a plan to further hurt her and scare her. Like, that's what it was. Don't say what it, you know, but at the time I was believing. At the time I was listening and I was thinking this girl is crazy town, right?
And also maybe touch on this Sophia shit. You know how Sophia's like, I'm also a victim, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck she's talking about. Like, I've known Atos for 8 years, blah blah blah. Say that when something like this blows up, of course more like people will come forward and want to make up stories too. Say that don't believe everything you see, because I can guarantee you that most of these aren't true, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're not true. You know what I mean? Just kind of maybe say that other people have been trying to get in on it to kind of think about, say professionally.
So this is her trying to tell us to make a statement. We should make a post. Who's we, babe? Your brother should just be doing that. But anyways, I was kind of helping Atos like write this thing together. Like, I wasn't helping that much. I was kind of like, you know, he was writing this whole like, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie in full type situation. But I was just thinking, while I was sitting there, there's a little bit of truth to this. Like, because I've experienced the restraining and, you know, all these other little things like that. But, you know, Anna with this was just...
Like, you want to paint her out to be a crazy ex, not somebody that is after fame, because, yeah, when you're famous and you say someone else just wants your fame, it makes you look a certain way. It makes you look like stuck up and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just doesn't look good.
Of course it doesn't look good. She said, you want to paint her like a crazy ex. So when she said that, obviously alarm bells in my head were going off a little bit. But, you know, I was still a dumb fuck. I was still this dumb girl that was already not okay with herself being physically, mentally, financially abused. I was hearing stories from another woman. There was another girl as well that Atos had relations with prior that he didn't date, that was coming out with allegations, which you just heard the voice message before. So, you know, this shit was getting really overwhelming. In the chat, I was crying. I was sending voice messages like, I don't want to post. I just don't think I want to post about this. It's just getting overwhelming now because, you know, obviously the whole internet was bullying me. They were making up lies about me as well because I'm dating the fucking perpetrator. I'm dating the guy that's a fucking creep and has been doing stuff to Alice. And she was so young, and there's photos of them dating. And then there's other girls from their fucking island town coming out and saying stuff too. So it was just like, you know, everyone hated my fucking guts because I was still, I don't know, standing there. I hadn't said anything yet, but, you know, people were coming for my ass. So I was obviously crying in the group chat saying like, you know, I don't really want to fucking post. It's just overwhelming. And then Anna sends me this.
I can just be another I know posting is so annoying and gross, and maybe Atos can even post. Maybe Atos can post a screenshot. Maybe all that can be done on Atos' story so that your story stays clean. Because I already said check out Atos Paul's story, so all of my followers are already going to go see it, which will make so many people see it. And then that can just be used as evidence to, you know, as I said. So that way it wasn't you who posted it, but people still saw it.
which I'll give her credit for that. That was really nice. You know, I was fucking crying and shit, and she was also saying like, you know, maybe we don't have to post. Like I already did. Maybe you don't have to post. I already did. It's gonna be all good. You know, whatever. You know, she also said it's crazy how fast people believe lies. This is cancel culture. How are people responding to you so far, Addis? Because you had already put out a written statement. I just didn't want to, right? Then, of course, you know, the internet does not fucking respond well to any of us. They don't like Anna's statement. They don't like Addis's. I posted a statement about me actually being Indigenous because there was this lie going around that I'm a liar about being Indigenous because I'm white and I don't look black, but my grandfather's a black man. Anyways, and that's relevant. The Indigenous thing is relevant because Anna and Addis had some allegations from Alice saying that they neglected their Aboriginal foster kids, which I'm just going to say off the record right now is true. I saw it, I witnessed it, but I'm going to get into it later. And I know what you're saying. Oh my God, you're a horrible person. You were there. But I did what I could for these kids and I would say things to Addis all the time. But anyways, moving forward. This video drops and it's basically a 45-minute, probably over an hour. I can't remember the exact duration. Just a video of very aggressively Anna yelling behind the camera at this girl that's, you know, 13, you know, is getting abused by your brother. There were so many instances where he, you know, put his hands on her. He did things to her. He would slam the brakes in the car. This information wasn't out till later, but you know, he did exactly what he was doing to me to this girl, but worse, because on one of Anna's birthdays, I think 19th birthday or 18th birthday, they went to the Gold Coast and, you know, Anna would be getting drunk on her birthday for her YouTube vlogs, content, this and that. You know, as Alice said in before, she would engage in this underage drinking. She would get drunk and then Addis would do things to her while she was asleep from being drunk. So Anna knew all this. It was all things she witnessed. She knew the real ages. She was okay with lying to my face and saying that the ages are lies. She obviously went to school with this girl. Addis and her went to school together. She knew the ages. But this is the video that she posts on YouTube, victim blaming her. Addis is in the video for like 2 minutes. I'm in there for like 2 minutes too. And obviously the biggest issue people had with Addis and Anna and me were the ages were so bad and so wrong, and they were 17 and 13. Addis was telling me something like, oh, she was turning 15 and I had just turned 16 or whatever the lies, bullshit, can't remember now, so long ago. The ages. And so when I'm watching this be filmed, because obviously I participated in the video, I was in there for a couple of minutes. I basically said a little piece about, hey guys, I'm actually Aboriginal, put a photo of my grandfather up. And then I said, I'm a victim of SA. So why would I want to condone this? I'm a victim too type thing, which looking back now, let's get the girl that went through some sexual assault from her siblings so that we can put it in the video and make it look like we ride for a victim. We ride for an Indigenous person. Oh my God. Like I literally can't breathe. Anyways, this video drops, and as we're filming, Addis's energy is just so weak, piss weak. It's just piss weak behind the camera. It's like BS. He's like looking around. He's like talking about the ages. It just looks like the energy's not there. So I'm behind the camera and I'm like, where's this energy? Scare her more. If this is really fake information, if this is really bad information, say something. Say something, like talk properly to the camera. Like he's not talking properly to the camera. And he's not saying anything like this is a lie. He's not saying anything. He's not like saying to her and scaring her like there is repercussions for lies. Like there's none of that. And so, you know, Anna speaks for 40 minutes and this is what she says. I think you guys should maybe try and go and look up the real full version of this video. It's out there. This is just a snippet, but it's just an important part of the snippet.
Addis was born in 2001. You were born in 2004. Addis was the graduating class of 2017, but he was younger than everybody in his grade. But you also don't want to say that. All you say is he graduated in 2017. He was in grade 12 and I was in grade 8. He was in this grade and I was in this grade. Grades do not matter in this situation. The ages matter. But you are manipulating this situation by continuously telling everybody he was in grade 12. He graduated 2017. That doesn't matter. He was younger than everybody in his grade by a full year. But you know that nobody knows that. So you continue to push this narrative of I was grade 8, he was grade 12, when you know that he was younger than everybody in his grade. Addis graduated when he was 16 years old. Most people graduate when they're 17 and 18. You're posting photos of him at graduation. People see that. People are like, oh shit, I was 18 when I graduated. That's disgusting.
Atis was 16 when he graduated, and you're not telling people that. You're just
So, again, she loves to, like, this is one thing about Anna. She loves to, like, exaggerate the ages to make the real ages look better. And, like, as I said, I was getting told it was 16, 14 from memory now. And as you already saw, Veruca was saying that on her original video to coming out. So I don't know if, like, this was, like, her coming out with the real ages kind of, but also, like, using, like, the exaggeration of, like, 12 and 18, like what she said. But she literally says in this message here, and I think it's so fucking funny, add to the story that multiple people had said she was 12 and Atis was 18, and apparently that everyone knows, something like that, maybe. I don't know if you reckon. So that's just like Anna, typical Anna. Like, she'll always take the truth, like the pasta noodle situation in her first original comeback video, to make the truth look a little better. It's like a little tactic. But even then, I don't even think she said the truth in the original video. So I don't know. But originally, they were coming out and saying that it was a 16, 14. Veruca was saying it. I thought that. I don't know what the fuck this is. But yeah, so I was like, where's the fucking energy from Atis? But here's the real dirt. I have the unedited version of the YouTube video. I have the unedited version, all never seen before footage. And this is one of the first things that when I went to go look on my laptop the other day when I said I'm filming this shit, I pulled this up and I couldn't believe my eyes. Also, this video is very disturbing. I was just going through my laptop because I knew that there was some really fucked up, disgusting things behind the scenes of this unedited YouTube video. And this was the first thing that was ever recorded. And I just click on it and this is what it is. I haven't even gone through the rest.
You gotta use 2 SD cards, remember?
Wait. For the most part of the relationship, I barely thought she was hot.
So that's just his personality. That's just how he talks. It was like a funny joke because it was like, haha, I'm going to say something that's going to get me cancelled. It's on. Like, whatever. Like, it's disturbing. It's disgusting. Whatever. Like, I'm still putting it in here to show you guys that this was like his energy when he's addressing sexual assault and like serious claims. Like, he wasn't fucking taking it seriously. And as I said, he was looking around like when he was talking about the ages. Like,
should have been more clear. I'm stupid. Sorry, going into this shit, but here is the definition of what a child groomer truly is, and I'm going to be reading it off of my phone.
If it progresses to a larger extent, it will be out of our hands, and that's just me being honest with you.
Anna did all the dirty work for him, as she always does, because she enables his fucking disgusting behaviors, and that's exactly why she's getting dragged in this video too, because not only is she a disgusting, disturbing person on her own, but she's done very disturbing, disgusting things by knowing the truth about Atis and knowingly enabling and covering up his fucking bullshit and lies. And I'm not saying I'm innocent. As I said, I'm sitting here and I'm behind the camera thinking, where's the fucking energy? If she is lying, say something scarier than like, oh yeah, like it's just not true. Say something like, we're going to take action. We're going to take legal action if this is, you know, if this is a lie. Say something that's actually fucking worth it.
We could also say that we can like
scare her a little bit more.
We convinced our lawyer, like we thought, like
we told our lawyer we'll make a video.
We pitched out the idea to our lawyer. We would prefer to make a video, so that everyone still has a chance. So still give a chance for
because that's what we do. We make videos.
We make videos. We urge them. We convince them.
Talk to you guys.
Please let us try to resolve this with a video before any other human.
Yeah. So we pitched to our lawyer that we want to make this right with a video rather than legal action.
I sent Anna a message on the 16th of March saying, I think Atis is pretty upset about all of that shit. He's sending out a bunch of defamation shit. So this is when Atis was typing up that fucking letter and sending it to her house. To her address, you know, creating the fake brand shit. So I told Anna that. She was very much aware that that letter was being sent. She was saying, it's sad when there's a rumor out there so fucked up. So, you know, she's still writing the fact that, you know, there's fake rumors and shit. So she knew the letter was being sent, and this is what is an unedited clip that's on my laptop still.
We want to make it very clear that we did not know that this letter was being made. Mikaela should we say like Atis did know about it because he didn't want the lies about him? Because it's
Poor little Anna. I can tell on the end of that video she doesn't want to lie.
And I want to make it very clear that personally, we had nothing to do with this letter. We didn't even know this letter was being sent. It is something that our management did behind the scenes. It is something that we have nothing to do with. I'll cut out the ums, but so I just want to make it very clear that none of us sat there and wrote a letter and we're gonna harass a little girl. It was not like that at all. So the claim stating that we sent out a letter to a little girl for no reason, so the claim stating that we sent out a letter to a 17-year-old for no reason are completely false. We personally had nothing to do with this letter.
She lied and said we did not know about the letter. So they pinned this entire, which is like trying to silence a fucking rape abuse victim with that disgusting, that letter that he sent to her house. It was just, it's so fake and bullshit. It does not come from a real lawyer. The Paul's team, we didn't have a team. We never had a Paul team. The team didn't exist. Atis was sitting there on his laptop, making the fake email, sending it off, sending it to her address. He was doing all of it, all right? And now the lie was that we apparently didn't know anything about this letter being sent, and it was all the Paul team's doing. I don't care if you guys want to punch me. Like, I'm going to allow you guys to punch me right now. Yes, I sat in the house and I let this lie be said in front of my face and I didn't say anything. But as you can see from this text message, she knew that letter was being sent, and then she's willingly going to lie to her fans.
Make it very clear that we did not know that this letter was being made. Mikaela, should we say like Atis did know about it because he didn't want the lies about him? Because
and as I said, you can see at the end of the voice message, she's trying to really convince, because obviously Atis did not want to take any blame for that letter. She said, well, someone should take a little bit of the blame. Atis at least. But we all fucking knew it was being sent. We all knew it was being sent. There was no Paul's team. The Paul's team doesn't exist. Case closed. So another thing I want to touch on. Another big narrative that in that video that was used to try and, make everyone believe Atis, Anna and I instead of Alice was that, so her Instagram had bots on it. So someone sent bots to her account. It was Atis. I watched Atis send bots to her account. He was trying to ban her Instagram account because her Instagram account was posting a lot of like receipts and all sorts of shit. And like when I tell you there was millions of people at her throats, millions of people were at her throats, he would have done anything to delete her account. He would have done anything because she was gaining followers naturally. She had like 60,000 followers or something. So as I said, yes, I watched Atis literally buy bots to her account. So he was trying to get her deleted with that. And I want to go with saying like, yeah, fine. Like it's not the biggest deal in the world that someone could buy someone bots. Like I've received so many bots in my life from people, I don't know who the fuck, like people I guess I'm fighting with. That's why my Instagram dropped in 100,000 followers on Instagram a random day, because Instagram rolled out a feature where I can delete all the bots. But I specifically remember Alice being on Instagram being like, who is sending me all these Indian accounts? They're all commenting shit. They're all following. They're all... Her likes on her photos have like 80,000 likes and stuff, which is obviously fake. It's obviously bots. And so he was sending her the bots, trying to get it banned, trying to make her look a certain way. And as I was just saying before, I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, he's so bad for sending bots, which he is in this situation, but I've received bots many times before. I know exactly what bots are. I've sent bots to people's accounts before when I'm fighting with them, when I'm pissed, like, fuck you, bitch. He has like 20,000 followers and they're all fake accounts. Like, people have done it to me. I've sat there. It's the most annoying thing in the world. I've had to have to remove them all, whatever. But he did this, and Anna knew about this. I just did this so that it looks like she's after fame, or she's fame hungry, or she's money hungry and she's fame hungry, and now she's doing this, which... Back in 2021, like these young fans, they're going to hear that and they're going to be like, yeah, she's buying followers on her Instagram. She's clout hungry. She's money hungry. And it worked so perfect. And I want you guys to kill me because, yeah, I knew this and I fucking didn't say anything. So this is the video that Anna, unedited version, of course, where she's actively fucking spinning this whole narrative that she's a money hungry, clout hungry. She's lying straight through out of her teeth. because she knows Addis bought bots to her account. BuzzFeed, is it BuzzFeed? No, it's not BuzzFeed. It's Buzzoid or some shit. Look it up.
This part is fucked because Attis bought likes and followers to Alice's account so that she could say this. Whoops.
And even this morning, she was buying likes and followers on her Instagram, which this is irrelevant petty shit, right? But when it comes into the story of her doing this for wrong intentions, it makes complete sense. You know, having a large, she didn't buy followers to get her voice out there, because followers, they're not real people, right? She just wants a bigger number next to her name, which is why we think this whole thing started in the first place. As old friends have said, she's jealous of the fame that Mikaela got. A lot of petty stuff. And it's just unfortunate that this very petty person and very petty situation has blown up to such a large extent that our lives are in danger. It's just completely fucked.
The manipulation is insane.
You know, she's buying followers now. She has now wanted to come out with her own business endeavor, literally one day after this whole happened. She's now saying that she wants to come out with her own business endeavor, literally just after this.
So, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, this is like real deception in the real flesh, real fake, real fucked up stuff. And like, obviously I knew Attis bought bots to her account, whatever. And as I said, I've received bots. It's the most annoying fucking thing in the world, but it's not even going to delete an Instagram account. Like, people have sent me 200,000 bots before in a day and I never fucking got deleted. So I don't know what the purpose was, other than, which I knew they used it to their advantage, saying that she's a clout hungry, money hungry person. So Anna Paul, what the fuck? You knew that. You painted the picture and you did it all for your brother's protection. When you knew the ages, you knew what he did, you knew there was domestics, you knew that I was going through domestics, and you actively sent all of your millions of fans to go and bully Alice Patterson, a 17-year-old victim of your brother.
So we decided to drive to her house to tell her to please stop spreading our address. And when I say we, I mean myself, Attis, Glenn's older sister, Glenn's sister, and their family friend. So it was 5 of us. It was 5 adults going to confront a 14-year-old. And I fully understand how that is just inappropriate. Being older now, that is something that we shouldn't have done. Like, I realized that we did it to intimidate her, but come on, she's 14. But, okay, because we have to take accountability. I'm going to say we didn't talk. We were just there to...
We were just there to support.
It's disgusting and foul. And not once have you ever taken accountability, and that's why I'm putting you on show today. By any means. By any means, am I an innocent person in this? I'm not. I'm not an innocent person. I fucking sat in the YouTube video for a couple minutes. Even just me showing my face in that damn YouTube video. I should be responsible for the entire YouTube video then. No matter what. Because I was still sitting there thinking like, well, if this is fake, say something. Do something. Like, be for real. You know? Well, where's the energy? Scare her. Like, something. But like, you know. Yeah. I'm not someone that you should look up to. Because he was hurting me. And he hurt me after this too. Boy, did he hurt me after all of this. I mean, he never got better. He only got worse in who he was. And you know what? I believe that's my karma. I believed I deserved every single little fucking piece of that shit. Because yeah, I sat there. I was a bystander. I was somebody that saw all of these lies. Not all of them. I was deceived to some extent. Yeah. So I'm no innocent person here. Quite some time had passed, and yeah, as I said, some of the things that were mentioned, which I specifically remembered, were about the Aboriginal foster kids. That was something I witnessed in my own fucking experience. The slamming on of the brakes, that was happening, but the big one hadn't happened yet. It was just the little ones. And then, you know, Attis, while she was under the influence of alcohol and passed out half awake, R-worded her. Now, I need to pee, first of all. I need to go away right now because I'm going to cry. I just have to be 1 sec. I need to refresh.